And welcome to the 6A state championship game. Crete-Monee taking on Cary-Grove. A couple of undefeated teams meeting here today at Memorial Stadium. I'm Lee Hall along with Jack McInerney from Memorial Stadium. And Jack, you look at these two teams and it's a little bit like our last game. We've got two teams and two diverse philosophies when it comes to moving the football up and down the field.
Well, we really do, but what's interesting about it is the fact that Cary-Grove has more speed in that backfield than Morris did. So they run a very similar offense, a double wing type of thing with the option, but they have a lot more speed to make bigger plays, and they have what I call a Mr. Inside and a Mr. Outside that we'll get to later. And the other side of the coin is, wow, that's all I can say. It's afterburners all the time, the ball's in the air, and they've got some great athletes.
And a couple of teams, both 13-0, both #1 seeds.
And, you know, deservedly so. They've played tough schedules, they've played good football, and that's why they're here right now to make a decision on who's the state champ.
All right, Crete-Monee and Cary-Grove coming up for the 6A state championship. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Okay, boys, we have 4 towns, 1 game, 1 state championship on the line. It's Cary, Fox River Grove, Crete, and Monee. The title game for Class 6A coming up next. The Class 6A state championship is on the line at Memorial Stadium here in Champaign, Illinois. Matt Rodewald with you here as we have a matchup of unbeaten teams. And from here in our next game, we'll have only unbeaten teams, so you don't want to go anywhere. Crete-Monee and Cary-Grove coming up next. Let's send it upstairs to Lee Hall and Jack McInerney. Gentlemen.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Very much looking forward to this one. Cary-Grove, Crete-Monee, 26-0 combined record coming into this ball game. Let's take a look at the Trojans and how they got here. It's a 4-week-long road to state. They beat Auburn in round 1, 41-7. St. Pat, 49-21. Only 1 touchdown in Crystal Lake Central's game, and it went to Cary-Grove, and then a 42-21 against Lake Forest. 42-21 win against Lake Forest in the semifinals. It's a flex bone offense. Kyle Norberger is their main man.
Well, he's what I call Mr. Inside. He's really the workhorse with over 2,200 yards, but he has good speed. He can break it even though he runs between the tackles. And then, of course, they've got their outside threat, Ryan Mahoney. He's what I call their edge threat. He's got the speed. He's back from injury. He really now makes this a complemented offense. And, of course, on the outside, if they have to throw the ball, they go to Zach Marzell, who's a wideout and also a defensive back and a kick returner.
And an excellent baseball player as well. For Crete-Monee, they beat Springfield easily in round 1. They avenged a loss last year against Peoria Richwoods. They got past Ottawa in the quarterfinals, and then a come-from-behind win, last-minute win against Lamont. And the guy everybody wants to talk about is their wide receiver, Laquan Treadwell.
Well, he really is a guy everybody in the nation's after him. Every university in the country would like to have him with them. He's a big playmaker. He can catch it. He plays lockdown defense, kick returner. But there's really the guy right there that makes this go. Marcus Carell, the quarterback. He's another Division I player with his arm, his speed, and his intelligence. He's got a 32 on the ACT. And, of course, the other end of that bookend, number 7, Lance Lenore, another Division I prospect, as the other wide out. He's a special player also. Treadwell takes a lot of the glory away from him, but he could go anywhere he wants in the country.
This should be a dandy. 6A state championship on the line. 2 undefeated teams, 2 #1 seeds, Cary-Grove and Crete-Monee, when we come back to Champaign.
The IHSA State Football Finals are proudly presented by Country Financial.
.6A state football ready to kick off here for a state championship. Crete-Monee and Cary-Grove. Let's go downstairs to Sophia.
For the Trojans, Coach Brad Seberg said, we have the blueprint for preparing for a game like this from our 2009 run. Our kids had a great focused week of practice, and he said, more importantly, we are all healthy, so it is all systems go for that triple option offense. Matt, over to you.
When you have a receiver like Laquan Treadwell, who's one of the best in the country, you have to have a quarterback who has understanding how to throw it to him, and a smart guy like Marcus Terrell. Jerry Verdi likes his toughness, his moxie, and he also likes the 30 on his ACT to help slow the game down. Guys?
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia and Matt. We will hear from them periodically throughout the rest of this ball game. Here are our officials for today's game. Congratulations to them. Octavio Herrera, Jeffrey Conrad, Tom Hall, Sal Vasta, and Charles Graber.
It's a veteran crew, a good crew, and they've earned their stripes to be here.
Crete-Monee will kick it away. Laquan Treadwell, one of the most sought-after wide receivers in the country to kick. Ryan Mahoney and Marcus Timios back to receive. This one will bounce out of bounds, and it'll be a penalty, and Cary-Grove will get good field position to start this ball game.
Well, you wonder, is this going to be anything like the last ball game where field position was such a prominent part of the outcome of the ball game?
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line. First down.
Cary-Grove wearing those Penn State-like uniforms. And it's kind of an old school offense.
They'll come out of the flex bone. For you folks at home, you've seen Air Force run this, Georgia Tech, Army, Navy.
First give is to Norberg. Kyle Norberg, the 6'2 senior, 2,200 yards this season, 25 touchdowns. He averages 11 yards a carry for number 44.
And he's an all-stater, sometimes all-area player. He's kind of an all-everything. And actually what's interesting about him is he never carried the football until this year. He was actually a linebacker. They had some problems in the backfield. They converted him in summer practice, and he's got 2,200 yards. Hard to believe that he was never a running back before this year.
He gets the carry again and picks up maybe one. Let's take a look at our Buffalo Wild Wings starters for Cary-Grove. Norberg, Connington, Mahoney, Marzal, and Hoshite. The skill players up front, the big fellas, Rulin, Matheson, Halverson, Bozeman, and Gomez. Their quarterback is 5'11 senior Quinn Baker, number 9. Third down and 6 for the Trojans. Snyder keeps it himself and is met right at the 40-yard line after a pickup of maybe one. Niles Morgan in there on the stop, number 5.
That was a good stop and good backside play by Crete-Monee. He tried to cut back, but you can see how they squeezed it down from the outside in, and that's what you need to do when the option's going away from you. Nice job of backside contained by Crete-Monee.
Garrett Glick is the punter, 5'10 senior. Treadwell back to receive, standing at his own 30-yard line for Crete-Monee.
Well, anytime he's around the football, it's excitement ready to happen.
Crete will start at their own 21 after a punt of 38 yards by Garrett Glick. Crete-Monee, a winner in the semifinals on the road at Lamont. Lamont was in control of that game until the fourth quarter. Crete-Monee came back to win and advance to state.
Well, they're not going to give Cary-Grove much time to set up here. They're coming right out, ready to go. Look to the sideline to see the call, to see what secondary rotation is in. They make the movement, the adjustments.
Terrell at quarterback. Throws it to Treadwell. Laquan Treadwell near a first down on the first play of the game. Laquan Treadwell, all-stater, former quarterback, DB, moved to wide receiver. He's made those moves from quarterback, DB, wide receiver. Now he's one of the top wide receivers in the country.
Well, they wanted to get the ball to him right away in that bubble screen just to kind of loosen up the defense.
Terrell, now they pitch it to Treadwell.
Oh,
he's loose at the 50.
Good angle here.
One man to beat, makes a move at the 20.
Wow.
Touchdown, wow. Laquan Treadwell, 69 yards.
Is this much like Montini's start to the game? A lot of similarities here. You talk about wanting to get it to your star early. They throw the ball to him first, and then they come right out with a quick pitch off the option look. Good blocking on the edges right there, but his speed and his vision, you can see right now, he knows he's got the angle on him. He cuts back against the grain and takes it in. And now you're looking at why he is one of the most sought-after football players in the country. Coming right at you. He's a special player. But wow, what a bang-bang. 2 games in a row, first series, big touchdown runs.
Treadwell, the point after. Oh, the bad snap. They did get the hold down in time, but he leaves it out to the left. It's 6-0. No good on the extra point for Treadwell.
Well, and based on that kick, he's 32 for 42 on extra points. From the way that kick looked, that wasn't his finest moments. Here's just a pitch to get him on a perimeter, but just an excellent job of blocking out on the perimeter to allow him to use his speed to find that seam and then outrun the secondary, even though they had the angles. And what a heck of a way to start for the Warriors of Crete-Monee.
Treadwell's 7th rushing touchdown of the year. He only had, believe this or not, only 164 yards rushing coming into this ball game.
Well, you know, when you talk about athletes, and his coach had talked about how they had unfinished business last year, this junior class at Crete-Monee right now is 31-0. They have never lost as freshmen. They never lost as sophomores, and they're sitting right here right now at 13-0. So they're 31-0. That's, you talk about a confidence level for kids to come into a ball game like this, and then of course to score in your first series really builds that confidence up even more.
First trip to the state championship game in program history for Crete-Monee. Jerry Verdi in his 6th year as head coach, 55 wins, 14 losses. He's never had a losing season.
The Crete-Monee's made 3 trips to the quarterfinals, but they never got to the semis, and of course they've never been here either.
Mahoney with the return. He's got room to run at the 35 and brought down there after a return of 20 yards for Ryan Mahoney.
Good field position here for Cary-Grove. You can see it looks like he's about to break it, but what happens is that Treadwell is what we call a safety on the kicking team. He's the last guy back there. He just waits to make sure nobody breaks through, and he's the one that would run him down, as he did right there.
1st and 10 from their own 34. Now how does Cary-Grove respond to that quick touchdown strike by Crete-Monee? And it looks initially as if Crete-Monee jumped.
And they did. That's part of what that
defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's part of what will happen with this kind of an offense. Watch the top of your screen right here. When he sees motion, he jumps thinking it's coming at him. And that's an easy 5 yards for a running team like Cary-Grove. You'll see a lot of this. They'll go in quick motion, then they'll stop. And they'll come back the other way. That's much like Air Force and Army and Navy run their offense. It does a lot for the adjustments for the linebackers.
Mahoney in motion. The give is to Norberg. Flag on the play from the far sideline. Close to a first down after that 5-yard run.
Now, as we mentioned in the open, Lee, Norberg has really been their go-to guy the entire season.
5-yard face mask on the defense, tacked on at the end of the run.
Norberg really is their workhorse, and we'll see the face mask right here. Oh, right there. Good call by the officiating crew, which we mentioned is really an outstanding crew. But getting back to Norberg, he's the kind of player that'll keep you honest in between the tackles. But now that they've got Mahoney back, he's the threat to get outside wide, which really adds to this offense.
There is a mistake on the Cary-Grove side.
Cunnington, the wing back, couldn't get the brakes on in time.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Oh, check that.
First down.
Nice that one.
He ran into his own guy, but the penalty is against Crete-Monee.
Yeah, they're jumping off with that motion. They're a little anxious to jump the gun here. Well, they're going to see this all day long, so there's going to be a lot of flags if they're going to jump every time they see motion.
Got to watch the ball. Not the motion.
And/or they're listening to the snap count.
1st and 5. Here's Mahoney out on the edge, brought down at the 40, and he's got enough for a first down. Let's go downstairs to Sophia Minner.
Jack and Lee, on that decision to move Kyle Norberg from linebacker to fullback, the Trojans had scored 10 points or fewer in 3 games last season, and Coach Brad Seberg said we needed some life on the offensive side. He said we felt we wanted to get more of a big play threat at fullback. Kyle Norberg has been the ticket for them this season.
And it's funny, Kyle Norberg will tell you that he was frustrated by that move after all that work at linebacker to have to give that up and go to fullback. But what a year he's had. 1st and 10 from the 40. Here's Mahoney trying to get an edge, and nothing doing that time. Jonathan Draper, the last guy to bump him out of bounds.
Crete-Monee has great speed on their defense. And what happens is when you're going against a team that has great speed, it's very difficult to run parallel to that speed. You have to really run at it to negate it. That's why I think Norberg is going to be a bigger factor today, because he's running straight ahead off between the tackles coming to the fullback spot. All the stuff off the edges against a fast, quick team is really tough for the offense to get going. Run right at speed.
Misplay there.
Yep.
Mahoney looked to hand it off, and there was nobody there. Check that, Baker. Our Buffalo Wild Wings starting defense. Take a look at the Crete-Monee side of the ball here. Smith, Schultz, Antuna, and Slayton up front for the Warriors. Lewis, Morgan, and Draper, the linebackers. And then the defensive backs for Crete-Monee. Dunlap, Benton, Stringer, and Laquan Treadwell. 3rd and 10 for the Trojans. Baker, the pitch to Mahoney, and he gets knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line is where they'll mark it. So he's a bit short, and they'll bring up 4th down for Cary-Grove.
Tough running that option into the short side of the field, which they do right here. Just a nice job right there coming off the block. Excellent defensive play there by Dunlop, number 1, the cornerback, shedding the blocker and coming up and making the play, bringing them help short of the 1st down.
4th and 4. They'll go for it here.
They're hoping that they're going to get Crete to jump offside and or to make adjustment, which they just did.
Give us to Norberg. He's got a 1st down.
See, by that motion, what they get, they see which way the linebackers are going to slide, and then they'll have another adjustment play to go to the opposite side. When he goes in motion, you can see how he just slides off that block by the guard blocking down. And this is a bread and butter play for Cary-Grove the entire year. Norberg looks like he's running right up the middle, and all of a sudden he'll slide off tackle and break one outside. And he's got decent speed for a 210-pounder.
7:13 to go here, 1st quarter. Norberg takes it down to about the 22-yard line, pickup of 6. Jerry Verdi, the Crete-Monee coach, says Cary-Grove, they have this down to a science. When you watch film, you don't see any broken plays.
Well, they run it at all levels, which is so very important. And that's when you have a solid program, and when you know the coach isn't going to change. He's going to stay in his flex bone because this is what he knows, and he can make adjustments from this. He can't go into the spread formation or the I formation because he doesn't know that much about it. He wants to stay with his comfort zone, and that's what this is.
Norberg down inside the 20, close to a 1st down.
And very much so like with Morrison at first game, Lee, a big key to their game plan is 1st down. And you can see Norberg here, but just a great job of blocking at the point of attack. The tackle blocks down, and then he runs in behind that tackle, and sometimes they actually leave the outside linebacker on block. It's somewhat like what they call an outside veer or outside option.
3rd and 1.
2 down territory. Cold turkey, they stopped on that.
Stopped at the line.
That was just excellent penetration right there by the defense in front of Schultz and Antuna and Slayton and Smith. Good penetration. Short yardage and goal line. Whenever you see where the line of scrimmage exchanges between the offense and defense, that's going to tell you the winner. And in that case, Crete-Monee's defensive line beat Cary-Grove's offensive line.
10th play of the drive for Cary-Grove.
Double tight.
4th and 1. Pitch to Mahoney. He's got room to run outside and gets the first down, where he's brought down at the 15-yard line. First down, Trojans.
What an outstanding open field tackle. That was a difference in 6 points right there. I think that was Draper, number 20. You can see they get Mahoney out on the edge. He's healthy now, and there's nobody between that open field tackle right there and 6 points. Good pursuit. He just doesn't bite on that little deke step right there. Good job there. First down for Cary-Grove. Now you can see Crete sliding their defense over.
Baker keeps it. Picks up a yard or two. Extracurricular activity. The official runs in and breaks that up.
Now the quarterback of the defense for Crete-Monee is number 5, Niles Morgan, the middle linebacker. 6'3", 215 pounds. He makes the adjustments to calls out there, which are really the defensive audibles. He's an outstanding. He's the leader of that defense. He's an honor student. He already has offers from Notre Dame and Ohio State. So that's saying quite a bit when you're a middle linebacker in high school and have offers from those schools.
And Baker brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Chris Slayton, 6'5", 234-pound junior, there for the stop.
Right now, the offensive line is getting beat. They tried to run the option right there, and just a good job of reading it and taking down. You can see Chris Slayton right there, 6'5", 235, wrapping up Quinn Baker. Nice job right there. Very active front for Crete-Monee.
3rd down and 10. Baker back to throw, looking for Connington in the end zone.
Flag.
It's incomplete, and there's a flag back at the 15-yard line, the original line of scrimmage.
Kind of interesting, because that was kind of a really interesting route that they ran, but some really excellent coverage by Crete-Monee's secondary. There must have been a lineman downfield.
That'll go against Cary-Grove and back them up if Crete takes the penalty.
Ineligible receiver. Downfield, the interior receiver was covered. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's when I mentioned about that route being kind of unique and with nice secondary coverage. That's why it was so unique, because one of them was ineligible. And that's just a matter of one of the receivers moving up and stepping back and letting that official know I'm back or I'm up. And the official that you're supposed to ask, and he'll tell you, yes, you're good, or no, you're not.
Garrett Glick for the field goal attempt from 32 yards. Only 2 field goal attempts on the year. He's 1 of 2.
Oh, yep.
That one is good. Garrett Glick, the 5'10 senior, gives Cary-Grove their first points of the afternoon, and they cut the lead in half. Crete-Monee with the 6-3 lead, but here comes Laquan Treadwell and the Warriors as they try to answer. Welcome back to Champaign Memorial Stadium. Lee Hall, Jack McInerney, Sophia Minert, Matt Rodewald, and our entire crew here bringing you IHSA football from Champaign-Urbana. Bright, sunny day, a little chilly. Not that wind they had yesterday, though, to contend with. 30-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the north yesterday. Perfect football weather here today from Champaign.
They don't want any set-up run backs.
Ground ball up the middle to Treadwell. He takes it out across the 25 to about the 26. Check that. That is not Treadwell. That's Dion Benton on the return. Marcus Terrell, 6'2 senior. There you get a look at his numbers on the year. 3,127 yards, throwing 37 touchdowns, actually. All-Stater. And the other thing about all the coaches coming to see Laquan Treadwell, other guys are getting looks from D1 coaches.
It always happens that way. It always happens that way. If you got a star, if the other kids are doing well, they're looking at the tape and they can spot the other kids also.
Here's Lance Lenore. He's another Division I caliber athlete with the catch. Take a look at our Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineups. Here's the Crete offense to go along with Marcus Terrell at quarterback, Tilley, Smith, Treadwell, Lenore, and Deshaun Duncan is a wide receiver. Boswell, Rosenfeld, Cephas, McCaskill, and Walsh up front for the Warriors. 13-0. Taking on 13-0 Crete-Monee. Under 3 minutes to go now. First quarter, Crete-Monee, the 6-3 lead on the Treadwell touchdown run. And the give is to Darius Thomas. And a hard hit there. You could hear it upstairs. Here's the Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineup. Defensive starters for Cary-Grove, Kirsten, O'Malley, and Duncan up front. Matt Hughes, Brock Bussinger, and Zach Marzal at linebacker. Dundon, Timios, Sutherland, Fields, and Kizak at safety. 3rd down and 6. Here's the throw out to the side to Rafael Valat.
Looked like there was some mix-ups right there on the blocking schemes after that throw. Because usually it's not always just a matchup when you're blocking. You can try an X block where everybody blocks back or blocks out on each other's man to create a blocking scheme for that quick screen. But here's the other part of it. You have Terrell as the punter, which is always a threat when you have the quarterback and or running back as your punter.
Ryan Mahoney fields it at the 30. He's got a returnable kick there and takes it 5 yards before he's brought down. 39-yard punt for Marcus Terrell. 1:15 to go here in the first quarter. Crete-Monee leading Cary-Grove in our 6A state championship game. We are back. Crete-Monee offense huddling around, looking to get something going here. 1:15 to go in the first quarter. Cary-Grove takes over on their own 34. Baker keeps it himself. A nice run for the quarterback. The senior quarterback out near a first down. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Hey guys, you were just talking about some of the other guys getting D1 looks. One of those guys is number 5 on your program, Niles Morgan. He's the junior linebacker who's got 10 offers from big-time BCS schools, talking about the fact that he could be even a bigger prospect than Treadwell is. That according to Jerry Verdi, talking about his intelligence. And he says he has something that college coaches like, that is closing speed at the inside linebacker position.
Jerry Verdi thinks he'll be the top inside linebacker recruit for the 2015 class.
And the other thing that recruiters like is when the fact that you're an honor student and they don't have to worry about getting you in academically. Those doors just magically open much larger when you're a great student athlete.
Baker the carry that time as well. Yeah, he's Niles Morgan, honor student, and Coach Verdi says he's a student of the game. Loves to study film and loves to lift.
Well, I do too.
Lift food? Yeah, that's different.
I'll tell you, I was very interested here in these last series where Quinn Baker is carrying the ball more often because they're closing down on Norberg and they're trying to shut out the edges with Mahoney. And so they're running a little more of Quinn Baker inside. 1st and 10, Norberg, nothing doing. Quick penetration by
Treadwell got in there.
Treadwell.
Yeah.
Now you don't often see a defensive back make a tackle inside the line of scrimmage.
Speed on both sides of the ball for Crete-Monee. They take a 3-point lead into the second quarter. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Crete-Monee, the 6-3 lead. We've got more IHSA championship football coming your way. from Memorial Stadium. Glenbard West against Lincoln Way East in 7A, and then the final championship decided tonight, Glenbard North against Mount Carmel. 2nd and 10 for Cary-Grove as they head right to left here in the second quarter. Give us to Norberg. He gets 2 or 3 yards.
Now, when you come into a game like this and you're talking about game plans, you got to talk about what you want to take away and what you want to give them. What are you going to beat us with? But we're going to make sure you're not going to beat us with this person. And right now, from the looks of it, I think they're taking away Norberg on the inside between the tackles and saying, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with Baker running and Mahoney running, because Norberg's going to be taken away on the inside.
3rd and 6 now for the Trojans. Here's the pitch to Connington. Check that.
Close. About a yard short, I think.
Joey Scott on the carry that time.
As I mentioned, they're taking Norberg away, so they go right now to the motion pitch, trying to get on the edge real quick. And you can see the closing speed that Crete-Monee has in that defense, and not only with the linebackers, but with the defensive backs coming up. One of the reasons is Cary-Grove is not a major threat to throw the football. They've only thrown it an average of 3 times a game. And that's through 13 games. They've averaged 3 passes a game, completing 1, for an average of 34 yards a game in passing over their first 13. So that's why these defensive backs can play a little tighter to the line of scrimmage.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 1, and Cary-Grove has to take a timeout to avoid the delay of game. Had quite a few substitutions there as they try to get things going. They don't want to make a mistake on 4th and 1 and they're at midfield. Crete-Monee, the 6-3 lead in this one, and Cary-Grove trying to get something going here. And you talk about their offense, not a lot of passing, so it's a little bit tougher when you don't have that changeup to throw.
Well, it really is, and of course, you know, we gave that stat on when they don't throw the ball well, but what they do is they run the ball well. They have a Mr. Inside, they have a Mr. Outside. They can pick up a yard. That's never really a problem. But this is now there's no tomorrow. So I mean, these kind of strategies here where they give them field position this early in the middle field could come back to haunt them, so they better make sure they have the right play. And so that was a well-timed timeout.
Cary-Grove dominating in time of possession, 10.5 minutes to just 2.5 for Crete-Monee. And it's Norberg, and it's a first down for Cary-Grove.
Well, that was a good timeout right there, because that could turn out to be a big play for them to keep this drive alive. You don't want to go into it not being sure of exactly the play you're going to run. You know, that coming into this ball game, even though they run the football a lot, and a lot of times people will look at a team that runs a lot and they say, well, they don't score a lot. Yeah, they do. They average just over 35 points a game, but they play very good defense, giving up about 16 points a game. So Cary-Grove does it well on both sides of the football.
Mahoney's the man in motion to give us to Norberg. He's down inside the 40-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Sophia Minner.
Before the game, Brad Seberg said that he thought the matchup to watch, guys, was going to be his offensive front versus Crete-Monee's defense. He said their defense is overlooked with all the gaudy numbers that their offense puts up. Offensively, he said we have to keep our pad levels low and be disciplined blockers to get our run game going.
Yeah, this Crete defense, Sophia, only allowing 8.4 points per game, so they are overlooked. Norberg with some room to run this time, down inside the 30.
Great effort.
First down and more for Kyle Norberg, the 6'2", 211-pound senior.
Well, he worked on his speed in the off-season because he thought he was going to be a linebacker, and it turns out he's going to be a running back. But you can see right here, he's got some decent moves. He had a game earlier in the year where he had over 300 yards of rushing, so he is certainly capable of those big, long runs.
All-time leading rusher in Cary-Grove program history. 1st and 10 now from the 26. 6-3, the Crete-Monee lead. Baker keeps it himself, and he's got first down yardage down inside the 15.
Now you can attribute part of that run to the run just prior to it by Carl Norberg, because when he faked to Norberg on that play right here, they closed down big time. You could see that mob taking Norberg, and there's Quinn Baker with the football coming off the edge. So part of that is the great fake up inside, but also the threat of Norberg running up inside.
Baker with 26 yards rushing in this game. He's over 1,000 for the season now.
Well, whenever you run an offense like this, normally your quarterback is going to be one of your top 3 rushers. Obviously your fullback, one of the other running backs, and then the quarterback. It's a triple-headed monster. There's a lot more teams that will be running plays similar to this, or formations rather.
Norberg with it. Tough sledding down inside there for Norberg. He picks up a couple. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Lee, 3 straight times for Brad Siebert going up the middle. He may have seen the injury that we saw. Rodolfo Atuna dealing with an ankle problem. He's the defensive tackle right in the middle, and that may have opened things up in the middle of the last couple of plays.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. We'll keep us posted on that.
And open it up in many more ways. He's 295 pounds, so that kind of gave some room to the offensive lineman for Cary-Grove.
2nd and 6. Mahoney in motion. He gets the pitch.
Good
Trying
job.
to find something, but great pursuit and a fumble, and Crete-Monee has it.
Okay, that could be the turnover right there they're looking for. Jonathan Schultz comes up with the football, but right here at the point of attack, you can just see what they're talking about as far as Crete-Monee's defense, really unheralded because they really get to the football. That's just great defense at the point of attack by the corner slowing it down, but then by everybody else hustling to get over there and making the play.
That was a 10-play drive. Cary driving for a potential touchdown. They turn it over. Crete-Monee gets it back. Under 8 minutes to go now here in the first half. Terrell keeps it himself. He's out to the 25. Pick up a 3.
Well, that's having a threat at quarterback that can ball. He's just an outstanding athlete, he, along with punting, but his strength obviously is passing the ball, but he can run with the football if called upon.
Terrell threw for 294 yards and a touchdown and the 2-point conversion against Lamont in the semifinal win.
Screen, middle screen.
And he's got Lenore out to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 10 and a first down for the Warriors.
What a great tackle there, though, by number 22, Casey Fields, coming up, because if he doesn't make this tackle, it's 6 points for Crete. Everybody's going where Treadwell's going. Then they come back across the field, and just a shoestring tackle right there by Casey Fields.
Little pitch to Treadwell. He gets outside the numbers and is close to a first down, and now a flag, a late hit out of bounds. Will go against Cary-Grove and tack on to the end of that run by Treadwell.
Well, they tried to hold up on it. That wasn't really a cheap shot at all by the Cary-Grove defender, and I think a coach went down on that one. But getting Treadwell out on the edges, that's the speed you have to contend with. And you really don't want to put one defender on him on an island to make that tackle between him and the end zone. I don't know if the officials are making a decision on whether that or not that was a roughing call, because it looked as if the participant on the sideline might have been one of the coaches. Right there is a missed tackle. Wow. Cary-Grove assistant coach got a helmet right in the chin. So he's down and being attended to by the trainers and the doctors there for Cary-Grove. He caught that helmet.
There are 2 fouls on the play. There's a dead ball personal foul on the defense, followed by a dead ball personal foul on the offense. those penalties offset.
Well, that's a.
And there you get a look at the assistant coach, shaken up, but hopefully he's going to be okay. 6-3. We will be back with more second quarter action from Champaign right after this. Back in Champaign, 6-3 our score. 7:06 to go here in the second quarter. And offsetting penalties and an injured assistant coach. He's being tended to on the sidelines. This is just scary business here.
Right here, and they're back off the sideline, but you can see he takes a helmet right in the chops, and down he goes, and then there's a flag before and after that play, and both penalties negated each other. But let's take a look at it right here. Watch where his helmet goes.
Oh,
right into the chops.
So dangerous on those sidelines. We see photographers and
just kind of nicked him.
See people get run over every once in a while at games, and it's just very scary. You really have to. There's no way to avoid that either.
No.
Man.
And you could see right at the end of the play, Treadwell tried to assist the coach in getting up or helping him up. There's a coach right there. Going
thank
off
goodness he's able to walk under his own power. That's a good sign. All right, so the offsetting penalties.
Well, offsetting
first
penalties.
Down and 10.
Cary-Grove was driving, and they coughed the football up, and now can Crete-Monee take advantage of it?
Terrell to Treadwell. He's across midfield and down into Cary-Grove territory.
When you look at plays like that, it's a screen of sorts, but it's not a heck of a lot more than the running zone play if you have a tailback coming out of the backfield and all the linemen are stretching out the defenders. Same thing here. All the receivers are stretching out the defenders for him to find a seam in that. It's just a swing screen out on the edges and hoping that his athleticism will find a niche there where he can get downfield, but a good job of covering that by Cary-Grove.
Here's the handoff to Darius Thomas. Not much doing there on first down. So many weapons for Crete-Monee. It's hard to keep track of all of these guys.
You know, you're exactly right. That's a point well taken. And one of the problems is when they put Terrell on one side of the field and then they put Lenore on the other side, those are two tremendous threats. Then you got to figure out, where am I going to put my safety? Who do I want to double up on?
2nd and 10. Terrell looking downfield, throws into double coverage there and almost into the hands of Kyle Norberg on defense.
And here's Norberg, the workhorse we talked about. They tried to get him out, playing a lot of offense and playing a lot of defense, and he makes great coverage. You can see him running right along with the inside slot man on that shallow crossing route. But good pressure up front by the defensive front of Cary-Grove.
Cary-Grove defense trying to come up with a stop here on 3rd and 10.
And it's very important that those guys put pressure on him, and that's Duncan, O'Malley, and Kirsten up front for Cary-Grove, the 3-man rush. Because they really can't afford to bring the linebackers. They got to help on coverage.
Terrell flushed out of the pocket. He's going to keep it himself. He's down close to the first down, gets the first down to the 31-yard line. A pickup of 11 on 3rd and 10 for Marcus Terrell.
That's a perfect example when you talk about athletes and a quarterback keeping a play alive with his feet. Good coverage downfield, but now an athlete takes over. He's able to scramble and pick up that first down, and a very crucial first down for Crete. You just see right there, right now, this is playground football. You get out and you just become an athlete.
The pitch to Treadwell. Tries to follow some blockers but doesn't get anywhere. And I think it was Norberg in on the tackle there.
Well, I think that the game plans probably could be, the simplest one would be for Cary-Grove would say, okay, we're taking Treadwell away, beat us with some other people. Problem is Crete-Monee has quite a few other people that they can beat both teams with. On the other side of the coin, Crete-Monee is saying we'll take Norberg away. That's easier than it is for Crete to take any of theirs away.
2nd and 8, a little shovel pass there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, Raphael Valaut.
Much like Montini pulling all the plays out. Don't you often see that shovel pass in high school football?
They love it, and especially to Deshaun Smith, who we haven't seen today, has received a blow to the head of the Lamont game, and we haven't seen him out there yet, number 2 for Crete-Monee. Terrell looking on the far sideline, incomplete. Treadwell in and out of the hands of the all-everything wide receiver.
Big stop right here. He's trying to roll out. It's a flood route. They had 3 receivers to this side. He makes a diving effort, but comes up short. Now they're going to be looking at 4th and 8. But right here you can see when you have a quarterback that's a good athlete, you can get him on the edges. That puts a lot more pressure on the secondary.
4th and 8, 5:05 to go, 2nd quarter. 6-3.
Spreading them out right now. That middle linebacker is mirroring the quarterback. He's the one that's got him man to man.
Terrell flush from the pocket again.
What a play.
Throws to Valaut with a man hanging on him, and Valaut gets the first down out of bounds at the 16-yard line, a 13-yard pickup. Raphael Valaut, 6-foot junior, with the catch.
What a great play by Marcus Terrell, the quarterback. Good coverage downfield. You can see the middle linebacker now closing on him. He does a little just jump pass over here to the open man and pick up the first down. That was a big, big play.
Ball at the 16. Terrell the give to Darius Thomas. He picks up a yard or 2. Here's a look at Marcus Terrell, 7 of 9, 46 yards. A lot of those passes, short ones, but he's getting the job done.
Well, you take what they'll give you. I mean, if they're taking away the vertical routes, which are all the deep routes, and the safeties are playing way back, and the linebackers are dropping the coverage, and you take the crossing shallow routes underneath. They can hurt you. Get in the hands of Treadwell. He catches the ball for a 5-yard gain. He turns it to an 85-yard run.
A little wildcat look here. Treadwell at quarterback.
They've done it before.
Well, that's pretty basic, but pretty effective.
And the thing is that when he gets behind a group like that, he can break out of that pack and find him sprinting down the sideline. Nothing fancy here. This is just, think of an I formation. You're just running power football. It's just a straight lead right up the field and hoping he'll find a seam where he can burst out. Nice job by Cary-Grove defending it, but now they're down to 3rd and 3.
3:40 and counting here in the 2nd quarter. Play clock at 5. Terrell in and out of the hands of the end zone, and then caught by Deshaun Duncan.
And he really had inside position there on the defensive back. In fact, it was thrown so hard that he tried to catch it in his pads rather than his hands, and it almost bounced away from him, which it really did, and then he was able to recoup it. But just a slant route, he gets inside position, and you can see right there, he kind of juggled it, but you can see right there, they knew it was a touchdown. Exhilaration all over the team.
Treadwell more than happy to share the wealth. And it's a direct snap to Treadwell. He's going to try and get in for 2. And he does. Laquan Treadwell on the direct snap, fake the kick extra point and go for 2. And it's 14-3 Crete-Monee. And we talk about depth. Deshaun Duncan doesn't even show up in the receiving stats, but he gets the touchdown catch here and gives Crete-Monee a 14-3 lead. Back in Champaign, 14-3. The Crete-Monee lead. Deshaun Duncan with the 9-yard touchdown catch. And yeah, as we mentioned before the break, he's not even listed in the receiving statistics. He's a starter, but when you've got Treadwell and Lenore and other targets, and that just speaks to the depth of this Crete-Monee squad.
It really does, and of course you can't let up on anybody. And Crete-Monee is back here with a vengeance, because last year they lost in the first round, and they finished with a 10-2 record, and there was not a lot of happy campers in the offseason at Crete-Monee, and they wanted to get back to get to this game. They thought they had enough talent to do it, and they do.
Ryan Mahoney, the kickoff return, 24 yards out to the 40-yard line. Good starting field position for Cary-Grove here with 3:21 to go in the second quarter.
Well, this is what they were missing for 5 weeks. He was out for 5 weeks with an injury, but he's the kind of player that gives them that breakaway speed, not only coming from the line of scrimmage, but on special teams. And against a team like Crete-Monee, you have to have somebody that can take one all the way, and that's the player that Mahoney is.
And Brad Seberg talked to us earlier this week about that might have worked to Mahoney's benefit, being out 5 weeks. He's got fresh legs compared to the other guys out there on the field.
Well, those fresh legs can also then contribute to some timing that could be off, especially when you're running an offense like this. So there's some pluses and there's a disadvantage here and there. But for the most part, he's come back and it's done extremely well in the playoffs for them.
Down 14-3. Can we expect any changes offensively from Cary-Grove?
No. And that's one of the problems with this type of offense, the flex bone. They don't throw the ball a lot. And I'll
inside to Norberg.
And I'll lay witness to that, because last year I saw Cary-Grove. They had a very good football team last year, and they lost to Nazareth. And one of the reasons they lost was because they couldn't throw the football. They were behind by 2 touchdowns going into the fourth quarter, and they had an outstanding football team. They ran the ball, but when they needed to throw it, they just couldn't do it, and that resulted in their demise.
Antuna back into the ball game. He was injured a little bit earlier. Baker keeps it himself. He's down to the 40, to the 35, and brought down there after a 19-yard pickup.
I think what Quinn Baker needs to realize is that he's doing a great job right here running the option. You see, they try to take the pitch man, but don't start cutting back all the way back across the field. You're not going to outrun these guys. They've got great speed. You've still got to continue to get up the field. That's where you're going to do well, is don't try to outrun them. Run at speed. Don't run away from it.
453 yards rushing for Quinn Baker coming into this contest. Here's the give to Norberg. He's down inside the 30. He had 162 yards, 3 touchdowns in the semifinal win against Lake Forest.
Well, the timing that they have in this option is really good. I mean, they just do a tremendous job with it. But again, you've got to make sure that you know your running lanes.
Here's the pitch to Mahoney on the outside. And he's down to the 16-yard line, a pickup of 13 and another first down. And that's a way for him to get to the edge there, is on that option.
Exactly, and that's a threat they didn't have while he was out for 5 weeks, but now they have it. But again, now against some other teams that would have been more of a threat because of his speed. But now you're going up against a team that has tremendous team speed. And but what I like is the balance they're showing. They're running Norberg up, Quinn is running with the football, so they're giving you all phases of that option. They're truly giving you the triple option look.
Under a minute to go first half.
There's Norberg
again. Down inside the 10. Cary-Grove with 2 timeouts left. And it looks like they'll take one of those here with 48 seconds left.
What I like is this matchup of Morgan and Norberg. That's really the hub of the offense and the hub of the defense right there. The fullback going up the middle and the middle linebacker going after him. And those are the 2 top players really for those respective teams for the most part.
Norberg 60 yards so far in this ball game. Baker with 47. Here's a look at what's coming up next here on the IHSA TV network. Glenbard West, Lincoln Way East, and then Glenbard North and Mount Carmel. You've seen all of those teams. Do you have any thoughts on those games coming up tonight, Jeff?
Every one of them is a good one. I'm sticking around. I wouldn't miss these games. They're outstanding. Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East, two undefeated teams, play very similar football. They play great defense, excellent field position. You're going to see a great quarterback in Fiesel with Lincoln Way East, and you're going to see an outstanding versatile running game coming out of Glenbard West. And of course, you know, in that 8A game, you're going to see a great back and a junior, Justin Jackson, with Glenbard North, who is one of the top running backs, has been offered by quite a few schools already as a junior. And of course, Mount Carmel, I think, has a condo down here because they're down here every year playing for that state championship.
Norberg close to a first down. Marty Hickman just called. He said it's okay if you stay, but you got to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'll do stats or something up here. Well, this is right now. This is big series for Cary-Grove. They've got to get in the end zone right here.
First and goal, 38 seconds to go. Baker keeps it himself. He's down inside the 1 yard line. 30 seconds and counting. They still got a timeout left.
Good job by Quinn Baker right here of riding Norberg in, but right down here now, this is just power against power.
Norberg got the handoff, but where is he?
It sure looked like he was in. He is.
Touchdown, Cary-Grove with 11 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Now that combination of that whole series coming down was a great balance of play calling by Coach Seberg as far as running the option, how they ran it, and when they ran it, pitching the ball, running the ball up inside. But right here, they're just going to the power game, but they're running behind Gomez, Bozeman, Halverson, Matheson, and Rowland. That offensive line that's been together all year long and put up those big, glorious stats for those offensive backs.
Garrett Glick, the point after. 57 of 57 on the year for Garrett Glick, and he makes it a 4-point game. Excellent drive for Cary-Grove. 9 plays on the scoring drive. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Gentlemen, coming up at the half, we'll have conversations with Crete-Monee head coach Jerry Verdi and, of course, Cary-Grove head coach Brad Seberg. Go through some stats and some highlights, and so far so good. A really tight one. 2 unbeaten teams playing each other for the very first time.
All right, Matt, we look forward to the halftime show. 9 plays, 59 yards in 3 minutes, 15 seconds with 11 seconds to spare. Cary-Grove gets into the end zone.
Well, and that was a big psychological score for Cary-Grove. They had a couple opportunities there early. They fumbled on that one drive. Crete-Monee took advantage of it, went all the way down the field and scored. So this was a little change that Cary-Grove really needed to make going into the halftime, and also with the concept of stick with our game plan, stick with what got us here, running the option, running the fullback up inside, pound him, run the quarterback, get on the edges with the pitch man. So they're sticking to their philosophy and doing a nice job with it. They're back in the ball game.
Cary-Grove not used to trailing. They trailed for the first time all year in the semifinals just a week ago. Crete-Monee with the return. Omari Stringer with 5 seconds to go. Crete might take a shot at it here.
Again, I'd like to get that hidden microphone in the locker room to hear the adjustments that are being made. And there's not going to be any major adjustments. There's going to be a few minor little tweaks here and there. But it's going to be field position and penalties, I think, in the second half of the determine the state champion.
Crete content to take a knee here and take a 14-10 lead in the locker room. And I like the point you made and interesting about how Cary-Grove, without passing, was able to change things up enough to move the ball down the field.
Well, you know what? They know their offense. They know what they're capable of doing, and it's what got them here, and they have a lot of confidence in it, and they looked awful good in doing it.
14-10 our halftime score. Crete jumped out to the early 6-0 lead. It's now 14-10 here as both sides go to the locker room. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Well, for a team that has its first appearance in a state championship game, pretty good performance in the first half.
Well, we're happy with the lead. We get the ball in the second half. We have to make some adjustments, obviously, defensively, but I think the offense has done what our offense does. Put 2 scores on the board and we're happy with that.
How do you like what your defense has done against the misdirection?
It's been okay, but we need to improve. We have to tweak it, make a few adjustments. I think we'll be okay.
What is it? What do you plan on talking about as far as offense goes? Any adjustments from there at halftime?
Just improved blocking, I think, making sure we hold on to the ball and continue to make good decisions. I think Marcus has done that.
Okay, Lee. Thank you very much, Jerry.
All right,
very good. And we'll send it up to Lee.
All right, Matt, thanks a lot. 14-10, our halftime score. A couple of touchdowns for Crete. Laquan Treadwell on the ground, and Terrell to Deshaun Duncan here, the touchdown pass. That's the difference in this game as we head to halftime.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium here in Champaign. Pretty entertaining first half. Crete-Monee with the lead, 14-10 our score. A good one here and a couple of good ones coming up tonight. Let's take a look at the schedule as we talked about the games coming up with Class 7A, a pair of unbeaten teams with Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East, and you'll get your look at NIU-bound quarterback Tommy Fiesel. And then later on tonight, Glenbard North and Justin Jackson will take on Don Butkus and Mount Carmel, going for yet another state championship. And for Mount Carmel, it's been a drought of 10 years without a state championship. Not exactly a drought to some. Matt Rodewald with you here. So glad you're here with us, and we've had a great one so far. Crete-Monee in its first appearance in the state championship game, performing so far, and for Cary-Grove trying to do its stuff, trying to run its offense and try and get into the end zone to get the lead. Let's set it upstairs and say hello to Lee Hall and Jack McInerney. Gentlemen.
All right, Matt Rodewald, thank you very much. Lee Hall along with veteran IHSA coach Jack McInerney. And your thoughts on that first half? We saw Laquan Treadwell right off the bat and took it into the house for a touchdown.
It's all I expected it to be in that first half. I mean, they'll make some adjustments, but the offense is what it is for Crete-Monee, and the same for Cary-Grove. Both teams are sticking to their game plan, and it's been really a situation as far as penalties, a couple of key penalties in certain situations, a couple key fumbles, which really hurt each team in certain situations. But I think it was a relatively good first half for both teams. It'll be interesting to see who really comes out in the second half with a little tweak here or a little tweak there.
If you're trying to defend Crete-Monee, how tough is that when you got so many weapons? And we saw Deshaun Duncan with the touchdown catch. He's not even listed in the stats among the top 4 or 5 guys that catch passes.
You can only do so much with your secondary. You have to start getting to the point where you're relying on that pass rush up front. You only have so many defensive backs to put in that very talented stable of receivers. So I'm going to have to say at halftime, fellas, you got to help us out up front. You got to put pressure on the quarterback and then contain him, because when they did put pressure on, you saw what he did when he scrambled out. So there's got to be pressure with containing the quarterback. That could be the difference in the second half.
Cary-Grove, as you mentioned, sticking with what got him here and able to put a drive together after a first half that was probably a little bit frustrating. They had the good drive going. When they fumbled, it looked like they were headed for touchdown territory. They came back and put another drive together right before halftime.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with Cary-Grove's offense. I mean, they're really starting to gel in that second quarter. They really came together, and certainly on that last drive. I think that's what we're going to see this remainder of the second half. They now really have a tempo going, and I think they're very comfortable with what they're doing, and they're going to stay in that particular mode in the second half.
That flex bone, able, as Jack mentioned, able to find different ways to move the football without necessarily throwing the football. So interesting first half. Looking forward to the final 24 minutes of action here from Champaign. We're back with more at halftime. It's Crete-Monee, the 14-10 lead over Cary-Grove. And we are back. Doing backflips. We're having so much fun here. 14-10, Crete-Monee with the lead over Cary-Grove as we enjoy our halftime festivities. The Cary-Grove band performing. Well, there was day one. Maroa Forsyth, Mercer County, Aurora Christian, Rochester, our state champions. Montini wins their 4th straight state championship in our first game here today in Class 5A. Crete-Monee leading here at the half. Then we've got Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East coming up at 4 o'clock. And coming up in 8A, Glenbard North against Mount Carmel. We haven't been disappointed so far, and we're looking forward to a couple of more great games here tonight in Champaign. Let's take a look at some of our key performers for Maroa Forsyth, their first time in Class 1A since the 1980s. They won their first state championship in 2006 with Luke Hockaday at quarterback. They win their second state championship with Jack Hockaday at quarterback, leading the way in a well-played game against Stockton in Class 1A. Maroa led 20-0. Stockton scored 24 unanswered points in the third, but then Maroa took charge in the fourth quarter. This is Belleville-Altoff in Mercer County. Somewhat controversial play was the back down. Apparently he was not, and Devin Morford for Mercer County picked up the football and took it 95 yards for a touchdown in what proved to be the game-winning score in a 14-7 win, taking another state championship trophy back to Aledo, Illinois. In Class 3A, Aurora Christian, Don Beebe's team, back for a second straight state championship. Joel Boganon, the man in black, running away from everybody here last night as Aurora Christian got the win over local favorite Tolono Unity. Class 4A, another familiar face, the Rochester Rockets. Austin Green at quarterback. There's a touchdown pass, a little help from his back as Rochester wins their third straight state championship. Derek Leonard winning his third straight state championship as head coach. And in Class 5A, our first play today went to Dimitri Taylor, and he took it all the way home. Dimitri Taylor, the player of the game for Montini. The Broncos win their fourth straight state championship under head coach Chris Andriano. Taylor ran for one. He caught one here. Watch this move. Spin move coming up. Whoop, there he goes and steps over another defender and into the end zone. One touchdown receiving, one touchdown running for Dimitri Taylor. We've got more highlights to show you from our 6A state championship game coming up, as well as the first half stats when we return. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Illinois. It's 14-10, Crete-Monee with the lead over Cary-Grove. Lee Hall, Jack McInerney back upstairs as we get ready to kick off the second half. What kind of adjustments do you think we might see from either side here?
Well, I think Cary-Grove is going to change more, not the schemes you see in formation, but more of the blocking schemes up front for the offensive line. Crete has done a nice job of stopping them on certain types of plays that they like to run, their favorite plays. So I think there'll be some blocking adjustments on that part. On the other side of the coin, as Coach mentioned, I think more of their adjustments will be from a defensive side, not from an offensive side for Crete-Monee, because they're running in a pretty good situation as far as what they want to do. They might have to make a few tweaks here and there on the defense.
All right, the first half highlights. They begin with Laquan Treadwell. First play for him. And he took it all the way in, 69 yards on the pitch, and that gave Crete-Monee a 6-0 lead. A great wide receiver able to get it done with his feet there. And then it was Deshaun Duncan with the touchdown catch from Marcus Terrell. That made it 14-3 Crete-Monee. Quinn Baker finding some openings as they shut Norberg down at times, but Baker able to get some yardage with his feet for the quarterback spot. And we'll take a look now at our Comcast business class halftime statistics. The rushing yardage in favor of Cary-Grove, as you might imagine. No pass attempts for Cary-Grove. The passing in favor of Crete-Monee. First downs 11-8. Cary-Grove. Look at that time of possession.
Well, that's the point that Cary-Grove is looking at, and they're saying that's exactly what we want to do. Top and bottom, rushing and pass yardage. I mean, they're not concerned about passing, but they're concerned about that rushing yardage and the clock.
Cary-Grove with the fumble on a drive that looked like they might get into the end zone, and that was really the only mistake turnover-wise for either team.
It really is. It was a pretty well-played first half, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second half here.
All right, 14-10. That's the gist of it so far. Crete-Monee with the lead. Both teams undefeated coming into this ball game. Crete-Monee, their first ever state championship game, going up against Cary-Grove. And it's a 14-10 game here at the half. We are going to take a step away for just a minute as the teams get warmed up for the second half. A 6A state championship on the line here in Champaign when we return.
Cary-Grove trailing 14-10 here at half. Coach, you were able to establish all 3 phases of your option there on the last drive of the half. How big was Norberg's score going into the locker room?
That was real big. That was real big. They're getting the ball to start the second half. We knew we needed to get some points on the board, and we were real happy to get a touchdown there.
Defensively, you said the task was going to be to slow down Crete-Monee's athletes. How do you feel they've handled that in the first half?
Well, we've done okay. We've let them convert some 3rd and 4th downs, and we've had them where we wanted them in a couple of situations, and they made some plays. And in the state championship game, that's what happens, and we hope we can make some plays in the second half.
You've had some long, sustained drives there in the first half, but not coming away with many points. How do you capitalize on those drives?
Well, we got to hang on to the football, and we got to execute what we want to do.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Lee, back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Sophia. Appreciate Coach Seberg's time. State champs in 2009. You know, Jack, the interesting thing, a lot of these guys were freshmen when that championship happened, and they came along for the ride. They saw those guys and what they did and how they carried themselves, and that's kind of, that tradition's kind of been handed on to this class. That was their goal to get back here, and here they are playing for a state championship.
Well, and
today.
the other part of that is, I think you could see by that interview the demeanor of the coach. No panic. Knew exactly what he wanted to do. He knew what adjustments they had to make at halftime, and the kids feed off of that. I mean, you could see the fact that he was confident in what they could do, what they were capable of doing, and what adjustments they made in the second half. He wasn't overly upset about the fact that that he's down right now, because he knows they're within range. And so I really was impressed with his demeanor and how he handled that. And you could tell that he knows coming in the second half that they're making adjustments, and he really feels very good about his team and where they're at right now.
And along with that, kind of keeping with that story of the 2009 team, Quinn Baker remembers when he was in 8th grade getting a ride to camp, summer football camp, with 09 quarterback Tyler Krebs.
Well, they ran them as assistants. They had them working with the younger kids in those summer camps, so they'd get to know them, and they'd have an idol, much like I look up to you.
That's right.
You know, all those kind of things. But that's what they did with the younger kids. They had the seniors work with the younger kids to teach them and kind of work them into the system.
And the other thing, in 04, he was 9 years old, Quinn Baker, when he had the quarterback that year, Brian Mitz, sign his shoe. So it's a tradition that's been carried on and at Cary-Grove. Here's Lenore. Boy, he got hit hard at the 25-yard line on that kickoff return.
And from up here looking down, when you see him handle the football, it looked like he had the wide side of the field, but he never got to that point. That was a big open field tackle right there. And so right now, not bad field position, but this is certainly, Cary-Grove is very happy to have them down here on the 25-yard line.
Crete with a 14-10 lead to start the third quarter. Terrell back to throw. Gives it to Thomas. And Thomas still on his feet, out near the 40-yard line, out to the 38, a pickup of 13. Marcus Terrell now 9 of 11 throwing.
And he really hasn't gone down the field deep on any throws. Everything's been intermediate to short routes. And against this defense, that's what you need to do. Now they get the ball to Treadwell real quick there on that pitch, and that's the play that he scored on the second play from scrimmage in that first series of their first possession. The exact same play, but Cary-Grove was ready for it on that one.
This Crete offense averages 40 points per game. They lead it 14-10. Here's Lenore, ridden out of bounds after a gain of maybe 1.
What's crucial for Cary-Grove on these type of plays, they want to get the ball out on the edge real quickly to allow that speed and athlete to get in the open field. That's the key. Cary-Grove closes extremely quick on that because they don't want him to get out in the open field. They want to make the stop near or on the line of scrimmage, and where help can come from the inside out.
3rd and 5, big stand here for the Cary-Grove defense to open the third quarter. Terrell makes an adjustment, yes. Terrell rolling right, looking downfield, has a man, that's Treadwell, and he's on his way home.
2 missed
the
tackles.
10. Touchdown, Laquan Treadwell.
And that wasn't a real long, fancy pass. He just rolled out on the edge to get away from the pressure that was coming. He just dumped it out to a great athlete. And just outstanding moves, a combination of a couple of poor tackles and some open field running and speed. Nothing fancy here, just dumps it out, rolls out, dumps it out. Now there's a missed tackle there, another one there, and you're not going to catch him going down the sidelines.
57 yards. Boy, it looked like he might step out of bounds too, but he was able to keep his body control, stay in bounds, and take it all the way for a touchdown.
Well, those are the kind of plays that's why he has the reputation that he has. You can't miss tackles on a man like that in the open field.
Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, all after number 6. Cary-Grove was after him too, but they couldn't catch him. Laquan Treadwell makes it 21-10, Crete-Monee. We are back. It's 21-10, Crete-Monee. Laquan Treadwell with his second touchdown of the day. He had one rushing and this one receiving. There, get a look at him.
And you can see Norberg can't get over that. The inside number 44, he gets knocked off, and then just 2 missed tackles, and he's down the sideline. You got to know where he is, but you've got to think of the other players also, because he's got a good supporting cast, but he really is the star of that team.
Chicago Sun-Times Southtown Star Player of the Year. Cary-Grove with the return there for Matt Hughes. He takes it out to about the 42-yard line.
Not bad field position to start out with, but again, as I mentioned, they're not the type of team that can get down by more than 2 scores and in most cases be able to get back in it rather quickly. We're going to see the play calling will be interesting here as far as how they're running this. They're running the bone.
Give is to Norberg. He gets for about 3 yards. His dad is a former Mr. America bodybuilder, and Brad Seberg says Kyle Norberg has that same kind of strength. In fact, Kyle does his weight workout with his teammates and then goes to the gym and works out with Dad, the former Mr. America. So
well, that tells you why he's so strong inside. He really is a tough kid to bring down, but
Baker keeps it. He's into Crete-Monee territory.
You can see the different balance that they're trying to show. They're trying to, on the very first play, run Norberg right up the gut to establish him immediately. Not so much for what he's going to gain, but the fact that they're going to run him inside no matter what the score is. So you have to keep those linebackers in tight, and that is trying to open up the edges for Baker getting out on the edge, and or the running backs also sliding out on the outside, which would be Mahoney.
3rd and 1 this time for Cary-Grove. Mahoney in motion. Give to Norberg. Got at the line and a fumble.
And you know who hit him? The man that's matched up with him, number 5, the middle linebacker, Niles Morgan, 6'3", 215-pound middle linebacker.
Crete-Monee recovers.
Kyle Norberg's not used to getting hit like that. See right here, they're just going right down, and up steps the middle linebacker. Mano mano. Down goes the football.
Second fumble of the game for Cary-Grove.
Boy, that is hard-nosed football right there. And that's just something that Norberg doesn't do, is put the ball on the ground.
Crete-Monee up 11 with a chance to build on that lead here.
And Cary-Grove can ill afford to allow Crete-Monee to score here because their offense is not suited to come back.
Lenore gets the handoff. He gets the edge.
You got a flag there
play.
too.
Lance Lenore, a 3-year starter for Crete. That is likely coming back for a hold.
Now he's another athlete that has a lot of schools looking at him.
On the offense.
And the key for him is, according to his coach and opponents, are that he runs exceptional routes and also has very good speed and great hands. And that's, when you're talking about a wide receiver that's 6'1", 175 pounds with good speed, you know, that's very important. And of course, he's a nice complement to Treadwell.
That's exactly how Jerry Verdi put it. Perfect compliment to Treadwell.
Well, and think of this. Treadwell has 75 catches. Lenore has 64 catches. So that's pretty good balance with your two wide receivers on either side of the field.
First at 23.
Reverse inside.
Here's the give to Thomas. Thomas gets back out near midfield.
That was a good call, because the last couple of series, Terrell has run a little rollout or sprint out in a flood look, and then there he runs the same look and then gives back on a little counter coming back up inside. Again, what that does doesn't show a great big gain, but it keeps the backside now aware that they have to stay home and they can't fast flow too much. You can see he's looking at the side to get the adjustment to which way they want to run this play.
Coach Verdi says that Terrell makes good decisions and has that running ability. Oh, and a pick here, though. A pick for Cary-Grove, and they will take it back. Casey Fields comes up with the big pick here to get the ball back for the Trojans.
This is an outstanding play by Casey Fields, 6'1", 185-pound senior. He just reads the roll right here, and he makes the break. Outstanding catch right there. He just came up and took the ball right away from Lance Lenore. He was playing him as tight as a vest. Great effort right there by Casey Fields. Casey Fields was the running back while Mahoney was injured, and he was playing both ways. And so when Mahoney came back, it was easier for Casey Fields to just go on defense and have fresher legs back there.
Baker brought down from behind. Great pursuit that time.
Again, the defense at the front of Crete-Monee showing their quickness and speed.
Quante Bright with the tackle.
Good job here, just coming up from the backside. Combination of good speed on the backside and the right side of the offensive line not blocking back on that option. You got to seal backside when you're running the option.
2nd and 11. Here's Baker with it. He's got it. He's got room to run out to the 40, down to the 36-yard line. Quinn Baker.
Now, against most teams, that could have been a breakaway touchdown, but when you have the overall team speed that Crete-Monee has, it just turns into a good long run. Great job of running the option here, but you can see he just can't break away from that overall speed that they have. And a good block downfield, 21, which you have to get out of your wide receivers when you're running the option. You want to break one. The wide receivers have to be able to block.
First down on the Baker run. Now they run Mahoney inside. Not much doing there. Mahoney scored the only touchdown of the game in the 7-0 win over Crystal Lake Central.
Well, he's had a rough senior year. Coming into the game, he was really supposed to be the Kyle Norberg as far as statistics are concerned, but he got hurt early and missed 5 ball games, and all of a sudden Norberg emerged as their stud, and now Mahoney's come back in to complement him.
2nd and 8. Baker again, nothing doing that time. Chris Slayton, the tackle for Crete-Monee.
And again, there's a very active big man at 6'5", 235 pounds. And you get defenders that can run like that in that front four that Crete-Monee has of Smith, 6'3", 225, Schultz, 6'3", 290, and Tuna, 6'1", 295, and then of course Chris Slayton right there at 6'5", 235. That's a big front four for a high school defensive line.
3rd and 7. Baker. Boy, a long pitch to Mahoney. It's going to work, though. He died for the first down, and depending on the spot, he got it.
That was a good job of running the option, and an excellent job by Baker getting that pitch off. because, again, they're trying to outrun that speed of that defensive front. And we mentioned how big this defensive front is, but here's just a great job of getting that pitch off, and somebody did not take the pitch man. Great effort to pick up that first down. That defensive front four for Crete-Monee averages 261 pounds, and that's going against Cary-Grove's offensive line that averages 233 pounds. But so there's a lot of meat up front in those trenches down there.
Give is to Norberg. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Let's go downstairs to Sophia Minner.
Jack, you were talking about how the Cary-Grove offensive front matches up with Crete-Monee. Now, that's Brad Seberg said that's why he runs the triple option. He said, you know, we get tough kids, but we don't get big kids who can move people. He said with that triple option, you have to work on your leverage and your angles as opposed to trying to run over people. And he said that, you know, personally for me, this is all I know, and this is what we're going to stick with.
Well, that's what we talked about in the passing game. Once in a while, they'll
here's
go.
Here's a pass.
Oh, what a
Mahoney the catch!
What a catch! Wow!
And Mahoney takes it off of the back of the defender, and it's a touchdown for Cary-Grove. There is a flag.
I think that's going to be face guarding on a defender.
Dion Benton was there in the coverage, and Mahoney just took it right away from him.
Unless they have that flag earlier before the ball was actually thrown. And this is going to be an interesting call here. It doesn't seem to be as obvious as we thought it might be. Good little pump fake right there, hoping the corner bites on it.
On the 16th kickoff.
Yep, they got it. Touchdown. Nice throw, but what a great catch. What concentration right there. That is just absolutely outstanding by Ryan Mahoney, 170-pound senior. But you can't make a great catch if the ball's not in the area to make one with. And for him to come down with that, and boy, did they need that one. That was a clutch catch if there ever was one in the state championship game.
Quinn Baker to Ryan Mahoney.
Big two-point conversion here.
Only the 7th touchdown pass of the year for Baker. Mahoney ridden out of bounds, and the two-point conversion is no good. Good defense that time by Dion Benton, who got beat with a great catch. The catch of the weekend so far made by Ryan Mahoney. And Cary-Grove makes back in Champaign, 21-16. Cary-Grove gets back within 5. Our BMO Harris making it happen. Play of the game, maybe the play of the weekend. Check out the pass. Baker to Ryan Mahoney, who takes it away. It was in the defender's face mask. He reaches around, takes it away, and scores the touchdown. 24 yards. Point after no good, making it 21-16. Just as we mentioned, the 6th touchdown pass of the year for Quinn Baker. And the 3rd touchdown pass reception for Ryan Mahoney.
Well, expect the unexpected. You talk about a clutch play and a clutch catch when they really, really need it. I mean, they were in dire straits. If they didn't score down here, this ball game might have been over.
That penalty added on to the kickoff, so it will be Crete ball as the kick goes through the end zone. Crete ball at the 20-yard line. Mahoney now with 11 receptions on the season, 3 of them for touchdowns.
Well, that tells you what kind of a receiver and a big play threat he is. But the other part of that is this. Cary-Grove needs to stay close in this ball game. Had they not gotten that score and Crete-Monee gets up by 1 more, that changes everything for Cary-Grove. Now they're still within reach. I mean, as long as they stay within 1 or 2 at the very most scores, they're okay depending on the clock. But they're not a big come from behind team as far as what they can do offensively.
Big stretch here for the Cary-Grove defense. If they could come up with a stop, there's a fumble there. Thomas dropped the ball, got it to bounce right back up to him, and gets a gain of about 5 after all that. Darius Thomas, the senior.
What an example of how what a turnaround that would have been. All of a sudden that ball bounces in the wrong direction, and they pick it up, but even get it on the 20-yard line. But you know, when the ball's bouncing, sometimes it bounces the right way for you. So Cary-Grove's going to have to tighten down here now. Again, all the adjustments, the chess match, changing the play.
Under 5 minutes to go now, third quarter. Crete-Monee's lead down to 5. The pass out to Treadwell, covered well. Flag on the play. The ball is loose. Cary-Grove is right there in on it. I'm not sure Cary-Grove didn't get it.
Well, it was interesting there that number 22 again. They did. Wow, are you kidding me?
Cary-Grove ball, but what about the flag?
Well, that flag looked like it came after. I don't know if that would change possession. They're looking for the. This will be another interesting call, and it must be Cary-Grove's going to keep the ball because the official is explaining that to Coach Verdi.
There's a block in the back on the offense. That penalty is declined. Cary-Grove recovers the fumble.
There you go. Well,
Casey Fields, number 22, again, he's the one that made that interception earlier.
Yes.
But what a great play he makes right here. You can see him coming up and getting on him and allowing the other people to get there to support. And that was the big play. It's not always the one that makes the tackle. Right there, Casey Fields, he's not only the one that gets clipped, but the one that slows down Treadwell long enough for help to come.
I think Matt Hughes might have been the one who got in there on the recovery.
Oh, no!
Treadwell with the interception.
Oh, they tried to catch him napping.
Crete-Monee. Yeah, they tried to come back with the same play, and it didn't work that time. They were ready for it.
Wow, what a turn of events right here. It kind of surprises me. I can understand the play call. You know, catch them feeling sorry for themselves, their head down a little bit, that type of thing. But, boy, when you don't do it a lot, it's an awful clutch thing to come up with right here.
Personal foul on Cary-Grove after the interception. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down, Crete-Monee.
So as it turns out, right here you can see when you're a great athlete, he comes up and just makes the break, and it also helps to be 6'3" to come up and make that catch because he had him beat by a yard or two. The ball was a wee bit underthrown, but you can see the great reaction and the closing speed that he has. And all he did with that, instead of turning that into an interception, for him it was a reception, and down he goes.
They call him Mr. Everything, wide receiver, defensive back, kicker, punter. Boy, what a turn of events there. Crete-Monee gets the ball back, and now a deep throw to Lenore, wide open at the 20. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Lance Lenore.
Now that was really a great job by the quarterback, Marcus Terrell, looking that safety off. He just locked down in the middle of the field, and that corner started sliding in the middle, and Lenore just came free. And that was more of Marcus Terrell's eyes than it was so much of his throw. Great job right there.
Jerry Verdi says Marcus Terrell is perfect.
You saw it right there, locking in, and he actually looked like he was going to throw to the middle of the field. And he throws off the corner. Just watch right here. Now you can see why that safety is not over there helping out, because he thought the ball was going to the post route.
Lenore says teams key on Laquan. I use that to my advantage. They sleep on me, and that's when I wake them up. Point after no good, 27-16.
Well, I can say this. Every school in the country might be after Treadwell, and they're not sure how they're going to use it as an offensive receiver, as a defensive back. But I can guarantee you this, they're not recruiting him as a kicker.
No.
I guarantee you they're not recruiting him as a kicker.
Okay, well, even Superman had kryptonite.
Well,
right?
that's true.
Everybody's got a weakness.
A little vial of it here or there. But what a great athletic play by he on that reception, or interception, if you will. And what a crucial time to have it happen.
Boy, and you just think about what would have happened. Cary-Grove had the ball, they had the momentum. If they take it in for a touchdown there, they go up. Instead, the interception, boom, Crete goes the other way, and now we've got an 11-point game.
The what ifs. And again, let's play that out a little further. They score, they kick off, and they hold or whatever. Getting that ball back then from Cary-Grove would be pretty tough. I mean, there's so much to play out. Now, psychologically, Cary-Grove's flat right now. I mean, that was a big deflating play for them.
Mahoney fields it at his own 18. And are you kidding me? That's Treadwell on the kick return team? Oh my gosh.
Well, he is all
doing everything but pop and popcorn.
Well, coming to this ball game, you know, everybody in the Chicago area had talked about him and knew of him, but our friends down here in Central and Southern Illinois didn't get a chance to see him play. Now they've had this opportunity. Well, let's see. Right now, there's plenty of time. 4:20 on the clock, third quarter. Crete-Monee can get back into this ball game. I guarantee you that.
Here's Norberg, a gain of a couple. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Listening to the conversation with the defense for Jerry Verdi right before that interception that Laquan Treadwell had. He was talking to the confidence guys. He was talking to the cornerbacks, DeJar Richardson, who gave up that play of the year, that touchdown. He said, "You've been good all year. You are still good. So have the confidence." They were happy about the fact that they were able to get these guys to third down, but they need to seal the deal. That pick, though, changed everything after that.
Indeed, it did. 2nd and 8 for the Trojans. Baker, the pitch outside to Connington, and not much doing there. And who else?
It's just amazing. From up here, those plays look like they really have somewhat of a chance to get rolling. But the closing speed right here, you can see Treadwell coming up from that safety spot. And all he's doing is playing center field. And he just comes up and goes in either direction, left or right, depending on how they run that pitch. That's all his job is to play center field, then go in the direction of which way the option's going. And of course, there's a good shot right there of who has the fullback, but Miles Morgan. So that's a pretty good matchup when you're talking right down the center of your defense. And you got a linebacker and you got some people that are as good as they have right down the middle of the field between Treadwell and the middle linebacker. That's a pretty good defense right there.
Cary-Grove taking timeout, and boy, what a wild turn of events for Crete-Monee there. And again, that depth that we talked about earlier. You got Treadwell, of course, but then you've got Lenore coming up with the touchdown catch going the other way.
Well, talk about a turn of events. That's just amazing. It can happen in a title game. It's one thing if it happens during a regular season, but when it happens in a game like this, and it's so quickly back and forth, and then how fast one team can capitalize on it, that's what also is amazing.
Boy, and it just looked, Cary-Grove had that great touchdown reception by Mahoney. They come up with the fumble recovery, and then looks like everything's going their way, and then boom.
That's high school football at its finest, and that's what we have here. We have high school football at its very best.
And Cary-Grove maybe got away a little bit from what they had done there.
They got away from it in that particular play call.
It worked on the, and now they fumble here. Loose ball, still loose, picked up and taken into the end zone by Dion Benton. The guy who got beat on that Mahoney touchdown pass picks up the loose ball and scores. I don't see any flags. The officials are talking down at the goal line.
Well, they're looking to see if that ball was possibly batted by one of the Crete-Monee players, because about 3 or 4 of them touched it prior to the pickup going into the end zone.
I don't think they intentionally batted it.
Well, they're smart football players, and oftentimes you tell your kids,
Cary-Grove on offense. That penalty is declined. Touchdown for Crete-Monee on the fumble return.
Touchdown stands.
Usually what you tell your players is if the ball is fumbled in their backfield, if you can, try and pick it up. But the first thing, obviously, is possession. And you can see right here, it's just bouncing around like crazy. Nobody ever really has it until right at the very end. It pops back up in the air again. And here we go in for 6. And this could be the dagger. But with 2:50 on the clock, 33-16, you never know in high school football. The only thing I know is that if Cary-Grove has to come back throwing the football, it's going to be a long uphill battle.
Treadwell in the Wildcat for 2. Trying to pick his way through a large crowd. Looks like Looks like you at the mall on Black Friday.
It does. And who was the man making the tackle right at the end but Norberg? Kyle Norberg going both ways.
There's a wild scrum here after the fumble.
Just not a real good pitch. I mean, he was getting hit, obviously, as he pitched the ball, but now it's just up for grabs right here. And things are going Crete-Monee's way. It looked at first in that initially before this that Cary-Grove had a chance to come back on that interception and the fumble, but wasn't meant to be.
Jerry Verdi says the difference between this year's team and last year's team is defense. We're physical and we've got a lot of speed, and they showed it there. Here's a look at what's coming up later on. Up next, it's Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East for the 7A state championship. And then we've got Glenbard North and Mount Carmel, the Caravan, coming to town in Class 8A to wrap up a full weekend of state championship football. And Brad Seaberg and the Cary-Grove sideline wondering what has happened here in the last couple of minutes. 3 of the last 4 possessions for the Trojans have ended in a turnover.
Well, that quiet confidence that he showed us coming out at halftime.
Ooh, big hit.
Big hit right
on
there.
Zach Marzal.
I'm sure at this point, though, that he's a little concerned about what he's going to have to do here on these next possessions to get back in the ball game. But you can see right there, a combination of that hit was a great hit, but also the returner almost coming to a stop prior to the contact. They do close quickly on the football.
Andreas Banks with the big hit for Crete-Monee on the return.
The Warriors have team speed on both sides of the football, including special teams.
2:47 to go, third quarter. Crete-Monee has scored 12 straight points here to take a commanding lead as Norberg gets the handoff and takes it out to about the 37-yard line. Pickup of 7.
Well, what they're looking for, you might say at home, well, why are they still running that fullback like that? Well, he has runs of 70 and 80 yards, so there is the opportunity. He has the speed to break it long, so it's not as if they're just looking for 3 yards out of him, even though they're down here 33-16. He has the opportunity to break one.
Baker keeps it himself. He's got a first down. Baker's brother, Hayden, was a member of the 2009 Cary-Grove champs, now plays for Northwestern, who was pounding Illinois the last time we looked.
Well, Cary-Grove has had a great season, 13-0 coming in this ball game, and of course, Crete-Monee with the same identical record.
Plenty of time left for the men in blue. Baker keeps it himself and gets brought down in the backfield. John Schultz was the first guy there, and now a flag comes in late.
Just watching left tackle here. See where the right there, you can see
personal foul, Crete-Monee, 15 yards at the end of the play.
Number 67 for Cary-Grove, the left tackle, Michael Gomez. He's only a sophomore, just limped off the field. Now, he had a broken fibula early in the game, in week 4, and has come out of the ball game. He's been started as a freshman. Here he is as a sophomore, 273 pounds, starting at left tackle. He just left the ball game. I think he re-injured his. Well, he's back in there. There's Gomez right there. So maybe just sprained it a wee bit.
Bad penalty there from Crete-Monee. It's the last thing you want with the big lead like they've got here. Baker, the late pitch, hauled in, and Joey Scott gets hit pretty hard there at the sideline. Some of those pitches on the option are pretty tough.
You know, they really are, and because they're closing on him so quickly, he's almost after the ride, not ready to get rid of the football. Because after he pulls the ball out from Norberg's stomach, they're on him, so he's got to immediately pitch the ball. So the other part of that is the halfback better be in good position to be able to handle the ball.
2nd and 5 for Cary-Grove. The pitch this time to Joey Scott.
Ooh,
and he's got a first down, and down at the 23-yard line.
A step away from breaking that one.
14-yard gain.
Just a quick way of getting him out on the edge with this little motion toss. Going to the strong side. Right there. Good blocking at the point of attack. Finds that crease. But just cannot outrun that tremendous speed of the defense of Crete-Monee.
Norberg.
I've seen him play a couple times earlier this year, and I've just been so impressed with him and Cary-Grove. They just keep pounding the ball, pounding the ball.
Under a minute to go now, 3rd quarter, 2nd and 5. Baker keeps it.
Now, did you see that play coming from the backside? Travell Smith, I think it was number 56, coming from the weak side away from the play, actually ran him down coming from the backside. And that, just take a look right there at the top of your screen. He's running him down from the backside. That's just an unbelievable play.
3rd and 1.
That was Antuna at 295.
Ball on the ground again. Great effort by Scott. Was he down though when he fumbled?
And if they got it back, it looks like he's either close or picked up that first down. There's the toss right now. You can see the closing speed by the corner coming up. And then the safety then also bringing it up, and he put the ball on the ground, but they did pick up the first down.
It was a fumble, and they got it back. Final seconds, 3rd quarter. Norberg down to about the 8-yard line. 1 quarter left in the 6A state championship game. It's Crete-Monee, after scoring 12 straight points in the 3rd quarter, taking a 33-16 lead into the final period.
The IHSA State Football Finals are proudly presented by Country Financial.
"12 minutes to play here in Champaign, 33-16. 12 straight points for Crete-Monee off Cary-Grove turnovers. Baker down inside the 5, where he's popped backwards by the Warriors defense.
That was nothing more than a quarterback keeper. There was going to be no option. They weren't going to take a chance at all of pitching that ball down here. They just faked the Norberg, hoping the linebackers closed down, and he kind of follows him right off tackle. A good play coming up with 3rd and 3. They can still pick up a first down without scoring. Making an adjustment in which direction they're going to go with it.
Baker keeps it himself. He's close to a first down, down at about the 2-yard line.
They got to make this. They got to score quickly here. Now again, just to follow, you can see the lead back going up. The motion man, they faked Norberg. Motion man goes past and becomes the lead blocker. Watch the fake. There's the lead blocker, and there's the follow.
1st and goal from the 2 for Cary-Grove. They trail it here, 33-16.
Oh,
Norberg
is stuffed.
Nothing's doing.
And guess who? The man that's assigned to him, Niles Morgan, inside linebacker, and he closed fast. See, he is the exact mirror of Norberg. He's right across from him. Watch the close right there. What happened was they didn't block him quick enough. He's just so quick off the ball at 6'3", 215.
Baker keeps it himself and steps into the end zone for the score. Quinn Baker, his 16th rushing touchdown of the year, makes it a 33-22 game.
That's a big touchdown for them right now after all they've gone through. They're able to come back, run the ball down the field and get one in. Good ride, good follow, good cutback. And he's had another tough year also. He broke his finger in week 7 and was out, and that's when they had to change. They made some adjustments here, and finally he came back, healed up near the latter part of the playoffs, and it's been an instrumental part of getting them down here.
Garrett Glick, the point after, is good. He's perfect on the year. 33-23, a 10-point game.
You can see on this touchdown how important Norberg is, how everybody closes on him and he fakes, but then Quinn goes in on the opposite side of where the ride was. What they're doing there is they knew Niles Morgan was going exactly where Norberg was. So all they did is run a little counter with the quarterback. They ran the quarterback opposite of where Norberg was diving because they wanted to get out of the way of Morgan.
Crazy second half action, crazy third quarter in this ball game as Cary-Grove trailed 14-10. And it's Terrell to Treadwell for 57 yards. Then it's the interception for Cary-Grove. They put it up in the air for the rare pass. Mahoney with the touchdown catch, an amazing catch. Then on the ensuing possession, Crete-Monee fumble. Cary-Grove tries to make it hurt with another quick strike touchdown. Treadwell is there to pick off the pass. Then it's Terrell throwing it downfield to Lenore. 52-yard touchdown. What a turn of events that was. We are back to live action, and it's Crete ball.
Well, pretty good field position for Crete, and that's not something they've really needed. They've been actually able to do a lot of things on their own. Now they're right near their average offensively. They've averaged 39 points a game coming into this game and giving just defensively just under 10 points a game defensively, so they're right on task here. A lot of change-up calls going on.
Terrell to give to Rafael Villout, and he is brought down at the line of scrimmage or behind. Loss of one. Let's go downstairs to Sophia Minner.
Trojans defensive coordinator Don Sutherland gathered his guys after Deion Benton's scoop and score and said, hey, that touchdown hurts, but that does not change what we have to do. He said we need to keep swarming to the ball and give the ball back to our offense, guys.
All right, thanks, Sophia. Yeah, Don Sutherland, defensive coordinator, his son Matt, the cornerback. He's got son Michael, a linebacker. It's a family affair for the Sutherlands here. They try to come back from a 10-point deficit. Here's the give to Treadwell. Met at the line of scrimmage and stopped there by Cary-Grove. Emerson Kirsten with the tackle.
Nice job right up front by Duncan, O'Malley, and Kirsten on the last couple of plays. Putting Crete-Monee in a situation they don't want to be in. Good open field tackle right there by Kirsten, 5'10", 175-pound junior.
3rd and 10. Cary-Grove with the defensive stop here could come back and make a game of it. It's a 10-point game. There's plenty of time left.
Making all their adjustments.
Terrell rolling left. Has a man. It's complete to Deshaun Duncan, who had a touchdown catch earlier in the game. And it's a first down for Crete-Monee.
And he picked that up by about a yard. Just a good rollout right here. You can see the line sliding along, a flood route. Just gets up, makes the catch, and a 1-yard run to pick up that first down. But a good job by the offensive line there, sustaining their blocks while he gets the ball off.
Ooh, Terrell hands it off. Play that didn't come off very cleanly. Darius Thomas brought down at the line of scrimmage. Actually might have lost a couple there.
You'll see Crete starting to run more counters and reverses now because Cary-Grove is really fast flowing to the direction of the football, and so to counter that, you got to run stuff coming back, whether they be little reverses or counters, and that's what they've done in the last couple of plays because Cary-Grove has really gotten to the football quickly. There's a throwback screen.
Treadwell looking to make a move. Gets out to the 48-yard line. Pickup of 6. Terrell, another completion. He's having a good day throwing the football. 15 of 18 now, 183 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Good job of acting right there by Treadwell, kind of pretending like he's out of the play and just jogging out there until he comes back in for the screen. Good setup there, but a good close down by Cary-Grove and getting to the football.
3rd and 6. Terrell rolling right, looking downfield.
He got it.
And the tough catch is made. First catch of the day for Kyle Tilley.
Big catch right there. That was a crucial catch. Big first down there. You can see again, he's rolling away from pressure, trying to create seams between the receivers and the linebackers. And right there, just a good sit down right in the dead zone between the linebackers. Big first down.
Crete throwing the football, but running a little clock here. Lead by 10. Moving the ball, eating up clock.
They ate up a lot of it there, I think.
Delay of game unless they got a timeout before the clock went to 0.
Yep.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Ate a little too much there.
Marcus Terrell talking about this team. You talked about the last year's loss and how much it hurt this team. Terrell says last year we limped into the playoffs. We weren't getting better every week. Better team this year because we're a more mature team and getting better each and every week.
Well, it also helps to have a junior class that's 31-0. I mean, that's a nice contributing factor. There's part of it, though, that Marcus Terrell, I mean, he's just, you know, when you've got a quarterback that has a 30 ACT, you can't emphasize enough how important that is, especially when you're playing a spread formation.
Reset the stadium clock to 7:30. Reset game clock 7:30, please.
Now, if you look at the yardage right here, Crete-Monee is over 300 yards of total offense. Cary-Grove's come by theirs the real hard way. They're 238, but that's a lot of offense when you've still got 7:30 left in the ball game.
1st and 15 for Crete-Monee now. Oh, good job defensively that time. Cary-Grove. Brock Bussinger with the stop.
See here, they're making the stop right here, but that clock is still winding, and they've got to find a way of stopping the clock right here. Good job right there of closing down and making the play. But right now, the clock is in favor of Crete.
Cary-Grove needs to come up with a stop and score twice. 7 minutes to play. Terrell looking, has a man wide open. That's Valaut.
And part of that is the direction in which Terrell's looking. He's sliding all over, looking like he's going to go to the left, as you can see right here, and then he turns and goes back in the other direction. He almost looks like he's throwing away from where he's looking, which certainly makes it real tough on a defender if you're trying to read his eyes and his mechanics.
3rd and 5 here. A conversion would really put Cary-Grove up against the wall.
Well, I kind of think this is 2-down territory also. Well,
and the clock ran out again. Or they got timeout right before the play clock ticked to 0. 2 timeouts left for both teams. 6:49 to play. Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East coming up next here from Memorial Stadium. Then it's Glenbard North, the other side of town, taking on Mount Carmel.
That's a couple of really good football games, and we have a good game right now, but I'll tell you what, Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East, some people thought that might be the marquee matchup because they're so similar in a lot of things they do. They're both undefeated, of course, and outstanding programs. And of course, you look at Glenbard North plays in a really tough conference in the Valley Conference, but then Mount Carmel coming out of the Catholic League Blue with St. Rita and Loyola, a very tough conference also. So those are 4 really good football teams that you're going to be seeing coming up here.
Two very good teams here, still trying to decide who's the 6A state champion this season. Neither team has lost all year. Crete-Monee, a 10-point lead with 6:49 to play, 3rd down and 5. Cary-Grove's really got to get a stop here, you would think, if they have any chance of coming back. Terrell looking deep for Lenore, overthrows him, incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
Be interesting to see if he does punt here. I would kind of doubt it. You can see right here they're double covering over the top, under and over. And the ball was overthrown in either case, but when they've gone deep, Crete-Monee has done a better job of defense on the long ball than they have of the shorter ball, because what happens is it's tougher to make that open field tackle when he's going in front of you.
5 wide out on 4th down. Terrell under pressure and brought down, and there he is in the backfield again. Emerson Kirsten, a couple of big defensive plays on that drive. And we've got an injured player down on the field, like Anthony Cephas for Crete-Monee.
He's the center.
He's hobbling off, favoring that right leg.
You can see the ability right there of him to try and get away, but that was a nice job of pressure up front. And really, they've been getting pressure from only 3 defensive linemen, from Duncan, O'Malley, and Kirsten the entire day, because they've had to have the linebackers out helping with coverage underneath. So you've got to give a lot of credit to that 3 front of Cary-Grove, Duncan, O'Malley, and Kirsten. They've done a great job all afternoon.
Well, Cary-Grove needed a defensive stop if they were to have a chance. They've still got a chance. Baker with it. Picks up a yard or 2.
A yard or 2 is not going to get it. They can't afford nickel dime. They've got to bust one of these to help them with the clock.
Here's Norberg right up the middle, out near midfield. Going up about 3rd and 3.
See, the team and the coaches show a lot more patience with this than the fans do.
Right.
You know, the fans will look up, they look at the scoreboard, they look at the score and the clock, and then they're looking at the quarterback running and the fullback running, and they're wondering, why aren't we throwing the ball? That's why.
Norberg. A 1st down, and he's out to the 35-yard line before his progress is stopped. Pickup of 17 for Kyle Norberg. That's his longest run of the day.
Now this is just a good job by Norberg bouncing off here, and this is what he's done all year long. But the thing is, you see Treadwell right there. It's tough to run away from and break away from speed that's far superior to yours. Cary-Grove has had these
carry that time.
Excuse me, Lee. Cary-Grove has had these little spurts like this, where they run the ball down the field. They look really good, and they're capable certainly of doing this. But right now, they're fighting the clock and the score, so they can't afford to be nickel diamond.
That would probably go in that category. Norberg with a couple of yards. He's over 100 now, 111 yards on 29 carries.
Well, that's probably one of the lesser games he's had all year long, because as I look at my homework, I think he was averaging about 170 yards a game coming into this ball game. So that's well under his average, but he's never really played in the conference he plays in and the playoff teams they played against a team like this that can run you down.
Coming off a 162-yard performance against Lake Forest. He had 263 yards against Auburn in the 1st round of the playoffs. Here's Baker with it. He's got a 1st down. That'll stop the clock as they move the chains. 4:36 to play.
Well, Norberg in week 8 had 342 yards and 3 touchdowns, so that kind of gives you an idea of what he can do. But a good fake right here, but an excellent job by the center right there, Halverson, of cutting off Quinn Baker, the linebacker, of Quinn Baker running with the ball, but the center was cutting off the linebacker, Niles Morgan.
First and 10, Baker, the pitch, Scott, nice tackle there. Brought down by Jalen Dunlap in the open field. Otherwise, he might have gone.
Well, this is what they want to do, but they need somebody out there to help them. Going one-on-one in the open field, you got to have a few more moves than that to get by them. See how he breaks down. Nice job of both open field tackling right there. Excellent.
2nd and 8, 3:48 and counting. Norberg still moving his feet at the 12-yard line.
This is really an offense of the offensive line against the defensive line, because when we look at the shot going down, you can see the defense that Cary-Grove, that Crete-Monee is in. It's just a little umbrella. The safeties in the corners, everybody's packed inside 5 yards. Now right now they're spreading them out with a little split look here, which forces them to stretch at least on one side.
Baker back to throw, looking for Marzal. And 3 white jerseys in the end zone. There's double coverage at the very least for Crete-Monee, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Now again, on that particular call, you know, your 4th and 4. Had you even run the ball for 2 or 3 yards, you'd be coming up with 4th and 1. So they kind of get away from their game plan. They did that one other time when they had that interception right after that turnover.
They're going to go ahead and go for the 3 points here. Garrett Glick made a 32-yard field goal earlier in the game. This one from 30 yards out.
Is it?
It's good.
Yeah.
33-26. Makes it a 1-possession game with 3:02 to go. Brad Seberg says it's good. We still got a shot at it. We are back at Memorial Stadium. 3:02 to play. Cary-Grove, a field goal to make it a 7-point ball game. So they are not out of it yet. Have an onside kick here. And it's recovered by Laquan Treadwell. Put those good hands people up front. Our KFC player of the game is Laquan Treadwell. Scored on the first touch of the game, 69 yards. There you get a look at his numbers. 5 receptions, 81 yards and a touchdown, 93 yards on the ground and a touchdown. He says Michigan is the leader for his services in college. One of his finalists. He will make his visits and make a decision after the football season. Some say he's the #1 wide receiving recruit in the entire country.
Well, a crucial series right here for Crete-Monee, that's for sure.
Pitch to Thomas is stopped after a maybe no gain, maybe a loss of 1.
Little momentum going for Cary-Grove.
They got 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, they've got to stop the clock.
Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East up next, followed by Glenbard North and Mount Carmel as we continue our championship weekend here in Champaign.
Well, all these games have certainly been what they've cracked up to be. Championship games by championship caliber football teams. Illustrated yesterday in those 4 games, and of course today with Montini picking up their 4th title against a very, very good Morris football team, and today 2 undefeated teams. And right now it looks like that Crete-Monee is in the driver's seat, but a very tenuous driver's seat at this point with 2:52 left, 33-26. And there's 2 good ones coming up. Glenbard West, Lincoln Way East. The Caravan of Mount Carmel. Interesting, last year in the 8A championship game, a team from the Catholic League Blue, Loyola, played in the 8A championship, and now here's another team from the Catholic League Blue, Loyola, playing in it. Last year, Wheaton Warrenville South played in the state championship game. Glenbard North, state championship game this year. Strong conferences.
2nd and 11. 5 wide receivers for Terrell.
Middle
Throws
screen.
it to Treadwell. He's out near midfield, about the 50-yard line. Pickup of 4 or 5. And Cary-Grove uses their last timeout.
Just a little middle screen right in here, letting him come in from that slot spot, but just a nice closing job by the defensive front right there, and also by the linebackers. You can see Brock Bussinger right there coming up, making the stop, number 40. Now he's actually been rotating back and forth in the inside linebacker spot with Norberg throughout the game, but clutch situations, you want your best players out on the field, and Norberg was out there before, and now they're probably trying to save his legs a little bit for that final drive, so they have him out and not out there on defense.
So it'll be 3rd and 7 for Crete-Monee. Another big 3rd down for the Cary-Grove defense.
Lots of time left if you're a throwing team. Not an awful lot of time left if you're a running team.
And you're out of timeouts now. No way for Cary-Grove to stop the clock the rest of the way other than getting out of bounds. Terrell, a little shovel pass to Lenore. He's short of the 1st down.
Well, this will be interesting. I'm thinking he's got to kick it. You can't give them field position here to go for it on 4th down. You don't make it and they have field position. I got to kick it. Just a nice job right here running the inside option where they pitch the shuffle pass under, but a good job of the backside closing right here. Good hustle by Cary-Grove's defense. Nice job right there by Mickey Duncan, number 89, and O'Malley and Kirsten.
Kirsten in on the tackle there. He's had a really good 4th quarter.
Well, of course, this is the threat right now because Terrell is the punter and also the quarterback. Now this really where this shows as a valuable spot to have him. Chess match.
The second half.
Crete-Monee stopping the clock there with 2 minutes to play.
Well, he might have the option when he's back there in a situation like this to look at the sideline to see whether he should kick it or to run it. You know, when you have your best athlete back there, that's what you want to do.
So what are your options there? You're thinking maybe to run a little more clock and possibly get the 1st down.
Well, I want to see what they do. I mean, if he's back there well enough and it's a good snap and there's not much pressure and he sees an edge, he might go for it. If not, kick it off. I mean, so you're putting a lot of pressure on an 18-year-old kid, but he's also an outstanding athlete.
Absolutely, and 30 ACT as you mentioned before.
That's what I mean, a smart athlete.
All right, 2 minutes to go. 33-26. Let's go downstairs to Matt Roderwald real quick.
Jerry Verdi was very deliberate, saying wait, trying to make sure to get that timeout in.
Ooh, this is the big play right here for both teams.
Need a good snap.
Cary-Grove's not buying any of it. Nobody back.
Straight kick.
Oh, if this does not go in the end zone. Okay, 80 yards and 150. Can they do it?
No timeouts. You don't really. Do you have a 2-minute offense in the flex?
Well, not really. You know, I don't know if you were paying attention earlier, but I mentioned something about last year.
Everything you said.
Thank you. Last year, Cary-Grove had an excellent football team, but they got down early against Nazareth, and they could not come back because they were not able to throw the ball, and they ended up losing the ball game. And I don't want to say that that's going to happen, that they can't drive the ball 80 yards in a minute 53. They're capable of doing it because they have the backs that can break it away, but they've never played against a defense that has this much speed that can run them down.
It all comes down to a minute 53. Baker keeps it himself, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And the clock runs. No timeouts for Cary-Grove. See, that's crucial right there. They get nothing on 1st down.
Josh Bailey the stop. Baker's going to throw. Oh, wow. God, what a hit. Dear heavens.
Did they give him a catch on that?
No. I don't think he ever caught it.
Well, look where the mark is. The official's standing right there. No, he's not. I didn't think it was. Now, he was open right there. If that ball, if he throws that ball in bounds instead of out of bounds, he's wide open. He just gave him no room.
Kane Connington was the intended receiver.
Now, he could have got a flag on that one, I'll tell you right now. That could have been a flag.
Very close.
Because he was on the white and Treadwell was flying in. Very, very fortunate right there not to get a flag.
Excuse me for saying the Lord's name, but I was just glad that Kane Connington got back up, because that was the hardest hit we've seen all weekend, and maybe one of the hardest we've seen ever. That was
a little defenseless there on the sideline, but here we go.
3rd and 10. Baker, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
Now, this is where I think, we talked about the only potential threat that they have when they throw the football is to try and get it to Zach Marzell, who's been predominantly a defensive player, but I think he might be in the ball game right now. But number 41.
It's him at the top of your screen.
It sure is, and he's matched up 1-1.
4th and 8. Deep downfield for Marzell. He was open and just went through his hands.
The ball was catchable. The ball was catchable. You cannot blame the quarterback on that one. Quinn Baker put the ball right on the money.
Boy, and another hard hit. Boy, the Crete-Monee defense making a statement with their physical presence here. Watch this.
This is just one of those games. Treadwell coming in, but the ball could have been caught. I think what happened was he saw out of the corner of his eye Treadwell bearing down on him, and that was the difference right there. He kind of took one eye off the ball. And there's the state championship right now for Crete-Monee, and they're a very deserving football team. Cary-Grove gave them all they could handle.
Crete-Monee in victory formation now. Their first ever state championship game, and they will bring home the big trophy. The Warriors unbeaten in 2012.
Now, granted, Treadwell was all over the field today, but you've got to give a lot of credit to the defense of Crete-Monee. They just did an outstanding job, and I thought Niles Morgan was just super at that middle linebacker spot, along with that front four of Smith, Schultz, Antuna, and Slayton. They were tremendous against that run offense of Cary-Grove.
Crete-Monee, the 33-26 victory in the state championship game in 6A. Coach Verdi waving his team back.
I think the officials are already going off, so they called it. Good job of Coach Verdi here getting control of his team and getting them out to the middle field, showing us some good sportsmanship. Sometimes the players get caught up in the moment, and that's exactly what happened there, and you can see him hustling back right there. But a lot of credit to Coach Verdi right there for some excellent sportsmanship on his part and his team.
Jerry Verdi, his 6th season as head coach at Crete-Monee, never had a losing season. Crete-Monee never been to the state championship game before. They come home with the victory here today.
Well, Cary-Grove gave them all they could handle. Brad Seberg did an outstanding job all season long and did a great job today coming into a game where, no matter what they did, there was one multiplier they could not handle, one extra little tidbit, and that was speed. Speed is what really got them today. And Crete-Monee was a team that had it on both sides of the football. Every big play that looked like Cary-Grove might have had, Crete-Monee ran them down.
4 Cary-Grove fumbles, they lost 3 of them.
And in crucial situations, too.
And at least 2 of them turned into touchdowns. So that really, in the end, is the difference in this ball game.
And one was after a crucial score that they made, and they had the very next play, Crete fumbled, and they couldn't capitalize on it, and they threw an interception. So there was a lot of defining moments, if you will, in certain key situations.
Well, you had to chase them back. They were going to get the trophy too soon. What's this been like for you? It's state championship the first time at Crete-Monee.
It's been, it's almost like the first half kind of whizzes by and you're not sure exactly what happened. That being said, kids never lost sight, played their rear ends off. you know, Laquan Treadwell, Lance Lenore, Marcus, Niles, everybody who's been doing it all year did it again. 14-0 feels wonderful. We're going to enjoy it.
You have such a smart team, a lot of intelligent kids on the football field. Was it easy for them to prepare for such a strange option offensive setup?
No, not at all. They're very difficult to defend. I mean, what a class team, what a class program. They battled and battled and battled right to the last second, right to the last throw. So you got to take your hats off to them, you know. They're one heck of a program, and you know they'll be back.
Tell me about the difference maker that is Laquan Treadwell, and he's a state champion now.
I mean, if he's not the best high school football player you've ever seen, you're lying. I mean, the best high school football player I've ever seen, no doubt about it, you know. And then not only is he a great player, but he's a great leader too, and he's going to have great success as time goes on.
Jerry Verdi, state championship. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear more from Laquan as we send it over to Sophia.
Laquan, congratulations. A rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and an interception. Just another day at the office here for you. How big was that opening touchdown to give your team the lead, and you guys just never looked back?
They gave our team a boost. We was playing kind of dry, so we had to pick it up from the first start, and we came here from a long ride, and we knew we had to make a big play early.
As a senior, you've got a lot of football in front of you, you know that, but how good does it feel to end your undefeated season this way with the state championship?
It's a wonderful feeling. It's a terrific feeling. We worked so hard all summer, and this is what we wanted to do. This is what we preached all summer, and we knew we knew we was able to do this with this team.
Take us through that opening touchdown, your rushing touchdown, 69 yards.
I got a pitch, and I just seen green gas, and then I made a player miss, and then I made the safety miss. And I just seen the touchdown and I was running.
What's next for Laquan Treadwell?
Official visits to Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State.
All right, well, good luck with all of your decisions. Congratulations to Laquan Treadwell and Crete-Monee. Lee, up to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations to Crete-Monee, Cary-Grove. A great season. They played it right to the final play of the year. 33-26, Crete-Monee wins the 6A state title. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Champaign. Crete-Monee, your 6A state champion, 33-26 over Cary-Grove. Lee Hall and Jack McInerney. And Jack, you mentioned before the game, Air Force versus infantry, and in the end, the infantry ran out of air support there at the end.
They really did, and it was really a well-played football game. It was an outstanding high school state championship game. It came down to really the best football team and the best athletes. And the one that's hoisting the trophy right now is that one. They had the best athletes, and they really were the best team at the end.
And you look at those turnovers, 3 fumbles lost for Cary-Grove, and at the very least, those 2 touchdowns that kind of turned the game in the third quarter came off of turnovers.
Well, a championship team needs to take advantage of turnovers, and that's exactly what they did. They came at crucial times, but turnovers are nothing more than a turnover if you don't make something happen after it.
Right.
And that's a good football team that does that, and that's what Crete-Monee did.
Congratulations to Brad Seaberg and his assistant coaches and his players on that second place trophy. They're long faces right now, but when they can put it into some perspective down the line, that'll mean a lot to them.
Well, we had talked about that as you talk about things like that all the time. It's very difficult to come into this game and go home with that trophy. But you know what? At the end of the day, and next week is when they'll really appreciate it. Maybe not today, but next week, next month, when they realize that they had the opportunity to win it, and it took an awful lot to get here. And there's victory in that itself by what you went through to get to this position.
They are adding to that Cary-Grove tradition. Second place in 2004, state champions in 2009, and we talked about the seniors and how when they were freshmen they came down here and they were on the sidelines when that team won, and that it just kind of builds on itself. There's freshmen that came along for the ride this year, and maybe they'll get back here someday.
I think the other part that's so unique is when you're from a community like, for example, Cary-Grove, everybody knows everybody. And you know, things hinge on on, let's say, the football program. And everybody knows what kind of a year they had, who the potential stars are coming up, and who are the stars that are in the past. And so that's a great community motivator, and I think it's so tremendous for high school football that in a situation like that, you know, you can get to a state championship game, and legend creates itself. And of course, with Crete-Monee here, they're going to be back next year, because now those juniors that were 31-0 coming into today have added another niche to that. So with that kind of talent, I would not suspect that they might not be here again next year.
Yeah, this is the first step in building a tradition right here. Crete-Monee, Laquan Treadwell. Yeah, coach says he's the best player he's ever seen, and there's that state championship trophy. It'll be interesting to watch Laquan Treadwell and see where he ends up and follow his career in college. And I even saw one scout say he's got NFL potential with those hands.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And the other part of it is the size. You know, when you're 6'3", that's something that you can have a lot of speed and great hands, but you don't have that length. And that's what they're looking for at that next level on Sunday. But, you know, looking in this situation right here, you're looking at a program that is certainly up and coming. When you win a state championship, you're there. But the part of it that is continuing is when you look at other teams that have been here before, you know, like a Montini and a Glenbard West, they've been here before, so it'll be real interesting to see what happens.
Congratulations to our 6A runners-up from Cary-Grove and the champions, Crete-Monee, 33-26. The win. 7A football coming up next.
Great day of football so far, and we expect more good football coming your way next with the Class 7A state championship between Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East. But before we get there, let's send it up one more time to say goodbye to Lee and Jack.
All right, Matt Rodewald, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for all your hard work. You and Sophia Minert down on the field. And Jack McInerney, we saw a couple of champions crowned here today, 5A, 6A. We see Montini winning their 4th straight state championship in 5A. And we see the start of something new for Crete-Monee, their first ever trip to the state championship game and their first state championship.
This is always a special weekend. I mean, you can gobble all the turkey you want on Thursday, but I always look forward to this weekend because I know it's just packed with great football from some outstanding high school football teams. I am never disappointed when I come down here, and there's more great games coming up right after us. It's been a great weekend thus far.
And your thoughts, the spread offense 2 for 2 in the first 2 games here?
Well, it really is because they got up early. And that was a difference. If those other teams had gotten up early, it could have been a whole different ball game, but that's the way it is. Breaks, turnovers, and penalties have described some of the early games we've had so far.
Yeah, you were a coach on a state championship team here. A special moment for those teams.
Well, it really is. There's no doubt about it. You can be in coaching for 36 years as I was, but there's nothing like being in this game, and there's nothing more than lifting that trophy up over your head and looking your seniors in the eye and say, we finally did it.
All right, well, 2 state champions in the book today, 2 more to be crowned tonight. We hope you enjoy it right here on the IHSA TV network. Jack McInerney, always a pleasure. Good luck to you. Best of wishes to all of you. And stick around for high school football. Coming up next is 7A state championship football from Champaign right after this.
Class 7A state championship coming up next between Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East, a pair of unbeaten teams who we all thought we would see a year ago, finally matching up in the state finals here in Champaign. Matt Rodewald with you here between games. We've seen so many great performances throughout the last few days, and one of the best ones being Laquan Treadwell. We just saw moments ago his individual effort out there for Crete-Monee, clinching the first state championship in Warriors school history. Take a look at the highlights that he put together. The first run on the option pitch for at least 50 yards, able to cut back there and get into the end zone. He was both doing it on the offensive side of the football and on the defensive side of the football as well. Check out this catch and run as he tiptoes right down the sideline into the end zone for another touchdown there. And then in the second half, he had this interception that completely changed the game with Cary-Grove trying to go in for the go-ahead score. He took the ball there for the interception. They scored 2 plays later, and that was it. Cary-Grove couldn't quite get it done as Crete-Monee hangs on for the school's first ever state championship. Congratulations to the Warriors and Jerry Verdi for their championship. Some great players coming up in this one. NIU's bound quarterback Tommy Fiesel is going to be one of those guys. We got a couple more coming up in 8A as well. Got a couple of games that are going to be fantastic, and you don't want to miss them next here on Comcast Sportsnet.